Welcome to the Wednesday's edition, midweek edition of the Happy Morning Show, live on Happy 98.9 FM. Yamamu achimamu akwabai. Na yankanchira muse ebrana suse wanopa nyonko your morning companion. A free anopa wei sabria nunsia. Abapa unsima edumiensa. Ekoko pim eye nonkron pepe. Ni asori jumadi eni so. Nemo munsam ahodwa in between 6 a.m. and 9 a.m. Yebedi hun komono ne doso. Enra na fotosan for Dr. Mohammed Amin Adams. Come Rashabujafie Edin Sem Kokotu Dra Wochiremwa. We are going to live within. We are going to live within whatever it is we have. Not as a ye ko akwakobo besia ye ko akwakope sika foforo ye dia babedi juma e wo memo dia debi. We will live within our means. As a dear one and one edibedi juma e wo memo. But in some Pinoa na fotosan for Ora Mohammed Amin and Adams edit tuja. Na wochiremu nanamu akonze we have a lot of some of the key statements Ora Amin Adams make here. I would want you to project those key statements in now paying live on the show this morning. Those of us yentimi anya konya anko tie anhwebie nia Ora Amin Adams ekan doc ekan no. This is an opportunity for you to also take a look at some of the snapshots and some who do be more for the sound for Ora Amin Adams edit tuja ewonra ebra okojina mrahye bijafo animu mrahye bijafie edit oman akoma bo honsem afino abuni mu mienu no eno honsem ode kokotu dwa mrahye bijafie. There are also eniema ketenkete bi wo ho a na se eniema ahodo bi wo ho a for the sound for Ora Amin Adams edi atudwa se yekoya nimu no yebetumi edi agu akwan mu na se yebeyo se de beya oman economy no betumi egina ne naso nemum ne tofa bom no de na Ora Amin Adams e kan nyina ne se baby oman ne yewo emfie mienu afimpi mienu ene aduonu ba akwa aduonu mienu ekopem aduonu miensa bepem sabre de as ye bookef no amane no baby egina no kakra edman. And there were certain figures and as a certain indices of the maya and I no pay betimi enyanto boase na dum wasuko na yedi ehon komo e wodwumadi ni so. But my main car said we have an exclusive interview and I no pay with the member of parliament for Clote Kole constituency, Dr. Zaneto Adjiman Rawlings will be our special guest in the studio this morning. A lot for us to talk about. And all my subject dear course so our politics as a state, our economy, the constituency, because I think about a week ago, and the deputy and as a vice chair of the National Democratic Congress, Clote Kole constituency, in the person of Julius D. Kwei Logas, editor live on the Pahwada Ben said, the fight in the constituency this year round is not an easy fight. In the what are the new strategies are? What the egu akwamu? What and some ben all katre constituency or more Clote Kole constituency? Come 7th of December 2024, and there is a lot more for us to talk about on the show this morning. My main cause actually I'm Miansan and Nano Payatanasia, a rapapa Fatisha Boli, Prince Obiba Pwakwa, Kwajo Sefah Danquah, Miamini. My main cause of the show is being put together by the production team headed by Ora Isaac Adai, Emwa Efri, Reynolds Adjiman, Bismarck Brown, Joel Sanko, Frank Afo, Miriam Akwate, Nana Waku Jr., Etria Petia Befontin Tankasi and so into Facebook to see on Facebook. We are there. Nana, project some of the key statements. Ora for the sound for Ora Amin Adams, Emeki and Rap. Then we'll have a conversation around that. Mami Musa Ghana for say Ghana foi motie 70 bi mo 70 bi no edian na Ora Mohammed Amin Adams kan ya wa no ato asumu anase ma ugidie bi se ebetimi asachara niema mame nka se nra no ano the minority in parliament dom kuma no mo mra chebuje fie wo mo edi ensem o manu disem atudwa na o mu tiremu se look the budget, the media budgeter, finance minister, Ura Amin Adams, editor Dwa. It's uninspiring. Hope bia nimu. Inti enya dia edin satre bia eba. Anase enya dia edin ensign bia eba wa brabomu. What do you also think of Enra the course one? Share with us. Oko Facebook Happy 98.9 FM. Like the page, leave a comment there. You can nyina dia ma atie for any for. Sound so and you can share the live feed into any platform or also any group or also either on Facebook or on WhatsApp. Na yemfa komono inru echiri. Abejafo atenase. Achame miensa. Prince Obapo akwa atenase. Rapa papa fa se boli. Ono so atenase. Abejafo mamu achema wakwa aba.
Ya Josu ba kaba.
Minim sa me ka ne no na me hu ye. Se me de me na se onim se ne epon no nso. Edi epon no nso sa no a. Free sabre yakopem bre bepon no nyina no.
Na madam de ne laptop na asemo.
Phone number pen no Sefah ka che no.
Empacho phone na ope no.
Ezi ope den.
Oto ayema esika ho. Ni ama eye gomu abanche ba ko nso aka ho. Ni ama bag nso aka ho.
Se ne be 25,000.
Hey! But alright, the cadet, because I was going from
25,000.
It never done now.
No, be our copy say be that. I'm an papa.
Hey!
No, it just came up. No,
25,000.
Yes, and the AC crowd depending the horsepower. Last me project be was sorry. Me call vendors be 8,000. The least any woman is 7,500.
2 horsepower.
2 horsepower.
Okay. To 1.5. A bear somewhere around between 3,000-5,000.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, no boom.
But
for the economy where we are, it's
say baby o free ban. Baby a free ban dear. Obeka say ye kakra. Baby a free ban dear.
So, for example, we successfully made 2 coupon payments within the second payment period. Government has made substantial progress since the completion of the domestic debt exchange.
Yes.
Asanka say ankayanya domestic debt exchange no omaimwa. Nkebenya sunsun so boni e wo sika krabia hodo no a e wo omaimwa no. So, number Osanka bi say government is determined to improve road infrastructure in the country. And omaya tiase say if free January be pim sabre, you know, government has invested about 10 billion into road construction. There are roads contractors egusua womu edi ehun ejuma. Onim asemba ko kan ya minim say it will generate a lot of conversation. It's got to do with the reintroduction of road and bridge tolls. Obekaya in 2020
Omaka.
I think in the last budget.
Yes.
In the last budget.
Yes.
Eye ura ichinana.
Yeah,
Nana yao. Kuntum. Edikokotu Juan. Or come yet, yes, we will introduce that. But unfortunately, we've not seen any roadmap. I don't know, maybe at the Transport Ministry. And as a road ministry, they are working on that.
Obekaya, sometime last year we've been you discuss it with Obekaya and then the ama contractor or clear debris.
Yeah. I think it was 1 million Ghana cedis or something.
1 million Ghana cedis.
We talked about it.
Clear debris.
Yes.
You that. Look, it didn't make sense. It didn't make absolute no sense. See, Rebecca said, "You used to kwanya rotos." It was populist. It didn't make sense.
I don't even see it as populist because nobody was asking for it.
No, because
that you would say
no, Fati, there were people
because you are asking for it.
A generated traffic.
Oh, please. Create information about nobody.
No, because
absolutely nobody.
I've heard
what they said was that
radio.
what I heard people say was that amount for no motonton nyoma a few of the baby toll booths in the one a few. And I think they were talking about the one along Sefah and Kaswa.
Yeah.
Just these two.
No.
I lived there. I lived behind the toll.
Yeah, there's traffic.
There was no traffic.
Oh.
The
time and now for
exactly. The traffic was not because of tolls. It was because of rush hour at Nyoma. Seriously. And a traffic no wasn't any traffic a bro swama. Ubeka say we told if you are. And we had people say told if you were still same traffic was there on the stretch. What am I saying?
No.
Anthony, it really didn't make any sense. What we needed to do was improve on how ABIG toll. Because I remember some time ago they tried with the ticketing now better for a month to cry.
Yeah.
Into any udu wa na wetwem. Maybe a mobile automate, but now that you have spent money to build those structures, spent money to demolish some, spent money to some and demolish it and also a new home. And now you want to reintroduce it, you need to rebuild the ones that we demolish.
So Yaboka.
And Yaboka.
Yaboka.
And we've lost money.
Kojo, and let not forget, say, to Sikana ni ejeno. Half of those money ne conquer for bottom.
Okay.
Ne ko enko individuals. Bottom one na enko into government chest. That one we have to establish that. So, but
we can say some of the money conquer for bottom, but we cannot emphatically say half of the money conquer for bottom.
Yes. Okay.
We can say a percentage of the money went into people's pockets.
Admitted.
Yeah.
But no so nkyerɛ sɛ ɛno nti yɛnyae because University of Ghana akyerɛ yɛn sɛ we can do automated tour ɛbɛgye sika no de bia.
Yes.
University of Ghana.
Yes.
University of Ghana 2 main gates na ɛwɔ hɔ ni nyinaa no ebie ni hɔ abɛfa hɔ without sɛ wotua.
Yeah.
Okpongulo so Okpongulo the nimpo there is open.
It's open. Okpongulo is open.
But the main investigate.
Any the war a tour forest
Gimpa.
Yeah.
There's no way you can go
enter
through those gates.
Exactly.
Fati without paying a monthly. May I have a friend that you sue Okwijuma all the time. And she paid Ubetuya. So no actually and me, I am aware, even though I can't mention those banks. Ghanaian banks are more presenting proposals how they can do that road tour. Sikano.
So they are investing.
Yes.
And then they will recoup.
Yes.
After a period of time.
Yes.
So build, operate, and transfer.
Look, they were going to position their tellers there. So even if senye automated crowd, omujia, it goes to the bank. Government percentage goes.
Is given.
But somebody just one day wanna a good side of his or her pillow decided say new road to be. It was needless. It was bogus. It didn't make sense. And look, certain me can want some and look, I don't care who took that decision.
Oh, but we all know who took that decision.
I don't even want to know who took that decision. But
then,
that decision
then Rose and Highways
was baseless. It didn't make sense, and forever it will not make sense.
But did Parliament, did government see that particular action as something that was inimical to revenue generation? Because remember,
no, but of course,
remember,
by word of mouth, yes, they did.
No, they did.
But
you have to go to cabinet, and we know how these things work.
Exactly.
But you have to go to cabinet.
But
present a paper.
But government did not give approval as of then. Government did not give approval as of then, as of the time, immediately. Or Koka said, "Ejuma bi amoye at the respective road tolls biano." Munjai.
No, but the Minister for Finance went to Parliament, announced
but
that
there
were timelines.
And that same night,
yes,
Mafiat.
There were timelines. And so we lost money.
We should use road without
paying toll.
So Ube Tika every and crying. I could see Tamale. That is nonsense. Absolute nonsense.
And we're looking at reintroducing
nowhere in the world.
Oh yes,
nowhere in the world.
Yes.
And I'll be used to a major
road
highway.
Only Ghana. Yeah, because we were looking at getting money from the electronic transaction.
But it was dead on arrival.
I mean, one of the reasons that he wrote Tony Freehold was because we felt that e-levy would be the
even
deal
the way
us.
they handled the e-levy was dead on arrival.
And this
the
morning,
minority no more crucify e-levy before Kra and San Yebe implemented.
And this morning, one of the things that I would want us to also take a critical look at is that also there are certain levies and there are certain taxes that it looks as if they are not accounted for to a larger extent. Because remember very well, say, e-levy, you catch it, say, at the end of every year, we will be hitting over a year, a billion, over 2 billion, over 3 billion. But consistently, Sika Nyano is not getting to where we had projected, say, e-levy, some are saying, say, it is a cheat. Some are saying, say, if indeed we want to be digital, that sort of a levy should not have been implemented in the first place. But the Ghana Revenue Authority, yes, Remo, Sika Yenya on a quarterly basis from e-levy, no, Monfantu Jamai. For the purposes of transparency, Monfantu Jamai. Every quarter. No. On a quarterly basis. When was the last time that you saw specifically a standalone data actually the amount of money that we have had as a result of electronic transaction levy? When was the last time? I mean, I have not seen it because I love documents. And so every time I check for documents, I check for them. Said, yeah, I'll be able to apprise myself of whatever it is that is going on. But I have not seen anything of that sort. Mr. You are Uti Happy Morning Show. Unim said there is this data, and we see whether the electronic transaction levy is indeed, giving us what we need or what we anticipate. But there are lots of conversations we'll have on the show this morning. It's 29 past the hour of 6. We'll have a conversation on and someone for the Sam for Ora Mohammed Amin Adams Ediko in the mid-year budget or the call Jafi and Ra. And again, we will engage and in the 4 hour our economy and some more. Be doing come and now pay Obekaya, the Ghana Revenue Authority, about some few days ago, saying that they have one more at me annual target for a year the month of June, Kram and Abro, so some 0.2% over what they anticipated. But there is a data that I'm looking at from the World Bank. I actually say we can do more when it comes to revenue mobilization and asset taxation. We'll have a conversation around that later on the show. But a rapper fati shabuali aya crado phone aya 25,000 Ghana cedis. We are or tope na maje air conditioner no na me dia kwa akodi djuma bi e wo ba bi na ne chronicle democrat and den mu a ye ba bi djuma en kan na nka otia na de se editing de ye show ni nyina no edit e ye nsem no na nka ye editing na wie dida nei they wafafo ye fa chronicle democrat and say 25,000 na say is a copy scan way
aje company na beto company tools. Company tools. My resources.
All right. To be able to do the work. Exactly. And the work the work that you're doing, a mobile. You have to be everywhere you are. You'll be working. And we're not Timakola or edit.
Exactly.
Young
Proverbs 21:20. The best food and olive oil are stored up in the houses of wise people, but a foolish man eats up everything he has. Finance Minister Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam or then a bag where they will say samano. You hear box one no.
Then sounds here brown.
Obiani soft bag with them. Soft bag. It was a man hard one.
Or the Kubia and Crofo trying to picture almost scan no more when the price
the hard bag.
The coffee is the Biana and one
because any money mood.
Mama
Emfa a year banner headliner Chronicle Ediaba. Finance Minister tells Parliament We are living within our means. No need for supplementary funds. Saso and Afitiwe family denies allegations of fraud against former MP. Former MP of Amasamai Asem Enomoka. Akufo-Addo commissions 320 new houses for police. Very, very, very beautiful structures. See Hakama with police colors.
Sefah mpacha asemu afati boss si ewie bibia ya mame 2 minutes per na memfanye bibi.
Asem
Yate. House and kama ya ama omun.
2 minutes.
said
Bebo Mama Collins niema bi 2 minutes.
said no go catch.
Other stories what 2 minutes. As the MCE others Lord Bright SHS for academic excellence, court discharges 2 workers of SF Company Limited. Court slaps 2 freight forwarders with 2 million cedi bail. Saso and a President Akufo-Addo swears in 16 new appeals court judges. And also Ewahanum will sign echo paper no more other stories are obey me and ye be a kind of pay essay. You'll benefit more from me than Mahama. Baumia Uzwa. CTAG maintains firm stance on strike, cautions against salary freeze of members. Other stories say it wasn't our intention to make you suffer. Finance Minister Nra and ya chop papa I know their brain. That's all person patch up papa mami who say I chop and wapa dia and ye 21,000 no more than na koji phone no emma me. I mean because yes and cafe cell phone in can say 8,500. Aye, muna mayama phone na could do 21. Ghana must position itself to maximize benefits of artificial intelligence. Professor Ponyo and Kasasem were told to start production in 3 months. Yabre. Mobile starting a moon starting so moon jaika. Every day. Timelines yendi soda. Danquah, Nigeria, Tinubu asks reps to amend Police Act over IGP's tenure. Senate passes national minimum wage bill into law. Said the Nigeria for then so ja. Omweni a figures I demo omo kra. Say almost tomatoes kromun to me 20 carrots, any cucumber, and omudiye tomatoes yes stew. Into no moon here sa minimum wage fiaya mode amo mobo saying. CBN raises interest rate to 26.75% amid surging inflation. Intifa ejasta postu minimum wage ya mwaka akopa saying. Katsina government introduces widows law for female civil servants. And also ewa hanoma ofa chronicle anopeya ubenye bi akai.
Me pacho yemfa Ghanaian Times entwaso yemboso 2024 mid-year fiscal policy review. Government vows to spend within budget, cut expenditure by 2.1%. Enti kojo ni nyina ne se fotosanfo kopie mu ewo emrahye bedwafie enrei na ne wabono ne smoke kama de ne che aka ho kuta ne baga feye papa aboni shoe no aboni chichi na ne picture yi ebo gorman ene twa ede ma Ghanaian Times a efe papa eda de obokrata yi enimu ni nyina ne se o kiremu a aben ahyebo na obedi ni bohye so kwadwo bohye de o hye no ani so a ewo de ma ote enti wahyebo obedi ni bohye so se sika ode ato se obedi sika ode ato so ode beye ne niema no enu a o muso kra na emom expenditure kra no sika yebedi no yate so ohamu enchichemu eye mienu ene achipo baako eye 2.1% ewo ho a enrai ode ekoto emrahye bedwafie mu na story way ubehu ewo P12 ewo de obokrata yi mu. We have not made decision on a Kosomo dance pledge yet. VR ena o kire se o ka kire enipa eti wo se de nkrofo enam eke kan so ye be no ye hwe ye de ni hwe ye sisu ho de bat ye nsi su gina se da se ye beba abeye ewo ho enu ubehu ewo page 11 ewo de obokrata yi mu. Security service housing deficit. We would address shortage. President vows after inaugurating 320 housing unit for Ghana Police Service. And also be who page 11 president and account or say yes, uko security service in my baby or motana any baby or motitate no isakra na oni na ben de o ma de si o mo so so mo be bua pa na o ma hwe na mo di hu dwumadie pa eno na onam so a enura okobia no e wotesa no ho 1237 killed, 7,561 others injured in road crashes. 6 months, Bosumi Sien ewa afimu, enipa yi, ena ewuo, ena wemonso, ena epra, enura yi, e free eye National Road Safety Authority, ena omo de figures yi aba, ni nyina se omo kire se o de compare last year figures na we akosoro papa last year figures no na 1095 deaths na afi nso no 6931 na CCC ya enedie akosopa rate against Aveno Paramount Chief orders dismissed and also ho Senate $66 million OBS project case and Thompson to file submission of no case. Sa and some also ewo court. Mamin call a back page of a Ghanaian Times. 1,370 die from drowning annually in Ghana. We a KNUST a report to be ena abetoja ewo ho. Sanso ena government take control over parks and gardens land at cantonment. We a minister ena odisa and some way minister of local government a Jameson Kosa and odisa and some way about way any in some be ena offer Ghanaian Times and anopeya ubenyabi na wakenkan ewo ho.
Safena do kasifidi na to aha hi happy 98.9 FM the happy morning show your morning companion and wasukusu awutie no double krata ahodo no ne ewo edwumu no anase abadwumu eno etifinsem ne bi ne de ematie ene ahwefo ene anopay the new crusading guide double krata no edamenim ha ena anopay na eno no ensem ahodo binumu a ewo double krata nanimu a onyato double krata na biemu a obetimi enya bia kenkan ebinie what a quality legacy. President commissions 320 housing units for police eno assures continuous investment in security welfare eno ye mampanyini na Danquah Kufuado ne nsem a odi atodwa e obra ene okutwa ahoma mu na dan baako ahasa aduonu ene yesi emfama eye aposifo a wo oman mu na ne yi mampanyini esanhye bosehwe so ono de wotiso yi de ahobambofo wo masetena mu eyiyo de obamanani akohu yi papa media budget review. Government disburses 4.5 billion Ghana cedis for LEAP, school feeding, and NHIS. Eno ensem ni bia Ora Amin Adams editujwa doctor enra ewo bra de media budget ewo tujwa ewo mrahye ebidwafie eno no. Government pays $12 billion Ghana cedis rather to bond holders. And what Kratafe Tosu edu of the new crusading guide, the Obokrata no and anopay abitimi hunu wenye biakenkan na obonwadia ebawura the Obokrata no mu ene anopay ya ensem ahodo no biabese hunu na wakenkan no ebi enie. We say Netanyahu faces delicate balancing act in US after Biden exits race eno ewo. Other stories abitimi akenkan ebinie or say Ethiopia landslide rescuers pull 157 bodies from mud. Crackdown on Uganda's opposition ahead of protest. No the new crusading guide. The Obokrata no munano pe abitimi hu na wakenkan Ghana's economic prospects on track amid reforms. World Bank and this same way atuidra road accidents claim over 1,237 lives in the first half of 2024. That's according to the National Road Safety Authority. One more Ensamoa, one more Eddie Ababatuja, and GTEC justifies July salary freeze for striking members. Electricity security. Expert calls for diversification of energy sources. We, and be the new crusading guide. The Obokrata no nano pay. Diabajuma between Honwakin can be.
Good morning to a year Andy Kankam. Na fe no yenko informa so na yenfa stories diaba. MIT for Niashafo. OSP chases Oforiata over 11th hour contract. And no ewahanoma me wafa a year na ya kuntunkununku. Emfoni edaha wajene white. Kama na enibi odesha OSP no. OSP nankasa hu obe fili. Now, other stories I say, we are doing our best. Don't abuse us. Ghana National Fire Service to public. Muhu Ghana National Fire Service who anenye ho muni nsio ena mwa ye say muni mejuma ene nyama no moma yenja isa nyama nyina na mo haraze yo mo papa mo munya abutaye mu ene adwempa emfa nyomo ejuma omani abro mu dumja na mugina wona mo kasa na mo ye omo ena fafa ha omo no mo aye training enya mo na mo be kire omo se ne omudu eye bebe edum ja omo be fa omo nyoma no mo aye eduma no enti munja ya omo mo abuse omo dodo saso ena for ordering MP out of chamber tyrant Bagbin fired eno ewa hanom ubehu eye speaker Alban Bagbin ewa ha na afi no Marshal come and walk him out ono nso ni phone edaha Dr. Kweku Efriye ene akoswa ne constituency enra omutisi mountain eye demonstration papa say speaker bepa ye chow because ade a ode MP no ye ninje ho eno de ekoso na other stories I say let's manage flawed constitution varsity dawn advisors construction ambassadors gets new CEO and also wahanum saso and CITAG vows to oppose unlawful salary freeze. Court orders number 1 to file witness statement by October 26. Election 2024, remain professional in your conduct. Brigadier General Asare to military. Saso and Ghana's economic prospects on track amid reform. World Bank and IECA. Economy is rebounding with 4.7% growth in first quarter 2024. Finance Minister Enekaye. Only about 1.5 million taxpayers out of 7.9 are their obligations. And Sefah ebobo so ewa hanom ewa bra onimpenyin for economics ekukudam ekwohwebo mu ekwatena dinner table nchen ewo eye campus no koya na Mervin Peck ekwatena ho edidi ye edi take away ebreme nti no onim se no pa enra obubo so answer afina ababe pie eye papers
ewo ha yemfa the Ghanaian publisher entwaso ene anopay near the twaso dia we would revive Tema oil refinery crapper declares we massa.
It's long overdue.
What they were not doing more
ebingo and
Susano e kwa so ene me free ha me de
and never be kwa fetchiro wo ujina na si ono
ni show on sa na abi hu se de
twa ku mionu mi sa atia
ora crapper we de maka acha dodo envie nwotwe na aso awie o envie nwotwe no aso awie there are no guarantees se mbesan anya ebi aka ho nti de obeye no ene ya no aye ntem 9.9 billion cedis spent on free SHS since 2017 nti eno eye Ghana fotosanfo ena nura yi ode sa ensemwe ekotu edwa Ekufuado commissions 320 new houses for police meka ho sam anopay pa me wo niam bia me de bedi ho dwuma Roman Catholic Church honest honorable Collins in team we ye MP for a year Tano North ena Catholic asore no abona basu ye papa cervical cancer can be eliminated no eye ensem a eba ye ka ho ensem we eye ema ensem nti eduru ha meboso revocation of unique credit lances done in accordance with law we eye Supreme Court ene de sa ensem we eba ye boso na nei ofa eye the Ghanaian publisher na except bare 4 pages bi pe de aka nyina eye 2024 mid-year eye review hunsem ena abi hu akan road accident claim over 1,237 lives in the first half of 2024 we National Road Safety Authority.
You know, every time that the statistics iba na say the data iba ayana I am yam shime. Because it looks as if what the data is telling us, we don't pay attention to what the data is telling us. And year in, year out, you call at the end of the year. And the National Road Safety Authority will come out and say about 2,000 people have died. So 2,000 people have died, and we are talking about breadwinners.
Yeah.
We are talking about young people.
Yeah.
And when you do a further breakdown of the statistics, it tells you more men than women are dying.
Yeah.
More men between the ages of 15 to, let's say, 35 are dying as a result of road crashes. And as a state, I feel that sometimes you didn't be diagro.
And most of the ones that result in death the cause, a year disregard
to
road
markings, road regulations.
Yeah, exactly. So it means these are things that are preventable.
That is it.
Say, where do traffic light, Gina? Where Gina? We are going towards a traffic light. Who name time a best or red?
Yes.
But with the speed, sir, we be do a na so red na fe so cheap on break. No nipo do we chinu so no so the speed no di we chia.
And I said, traffic green so baby or no so bar.
Who kwa overtake
unnecessarily.
I always say that you should never be in a hurry to go anywhere if you knew the time you were supposed to be there.
But you see, year in, year out, for a decade, 2,000 times 10 AI. No, see, people are not paying attention, but 2,000 times 10 AI. 20,000 people losing their lives. And more who are rendered incapacitated for the rest of their lives. Look, just half of the year in Kwano, AI, over 6,000 mebwa. Those people cannot do anything again.
7,000 plus.
They cannot, Prince, they cannot do anything again.
No.
And now he becomes or she becomes a burden on the state or on the family. So I am thinking, how do we reduce the rate of accidents? If you look at the statistics on Enyema and Magana Fuwa, they rank road crashes and as a road accidents. And someone run number 5 and as a Bibisa. And preventable, Fati. Said your kind. Most of the accidents are preventable. So I wonder, the statistics he bar. What then do we do afterwards? Do we put into action plans to prevent road accidents? But plans to reduce it. To reduce the numbers. What are the plans? Road Ministry, Highways Ministry, Department of Highways, 10 minutes to the top of the hour, 7 a.m. Happy morning to Nasuku. Overseer Dobokrata and the Ghana's economy is on autopilot. Minority leader and all this answer we to Bra, for example, Ura, Amin Adams, a day and this same cocoa to every year, and a minority. So a year in Central Funchi, more Muchum, baby, a Ghana economy, na do no be somewhere as I think in saying, as I any echosa, free. Sana Kosa. Professor Nana Jane visits NDC Youth Wing office, commends them for good hard work. No, I am not leaving my job now. Beleaguered Konfanochi Teaching Hospital Director of Finance on this assembly at Twitter. Akufado's cleanup averted total banking collapse. Professor Bodi affirms UN and Ghana sign an agreement to strengthen cooperation and fight terrorism. We ain't seem to be over the overseer of Bokrata and Nano Piabit me now I can count.
Yemfa Daily Guide and to us so Nana commissions 320 police housing units. SC affirms BOG revocation of Unicredit license. 9.9 billion cedis spent on free SHS as economy rebound. NDC destroys posters of Adantan NPP candidate. Sasso and Otumfor chat with King Charles. Tor will work again. Crapper assures. I now understand why I Tor asayaba. Won't say masayaba no. I back for us now.
Yeah.
Now
We promise.
show
We
workings.
Yes. We promise.
Mm.
Younger Prince.
The custodian yemfa entwaso mamenchia Audu Mahama ene anopay president provides 1,000 housing unit for security agencies we AP2 behu ewo ho ni nyina ne ye de waka ni nyina abum eno de abase 1,000 eno enura yi as part of enura president ekopie mu ewo Tesano police training school ho na housing unit 320 housing unit ena enura yokopa hontoma ode ema a police fo nko a se omon form tinto 2 bedrooms ne 3 f papa ode emeye hu dwuma bi kakra ena no pay ansa kra na masore akọ 5.7 million students get Ekufuado's free SHS 9.9 billion spent so far. Finance minister and ode abai government pays 12 billion cedi to bond holders. Gideon Buakon replies NDC's analysis on credit scoring. And some abapa say the make sure say credit scoring is apt. And this mobile phones say by untimi njibi enti hweniye na ensa untimi nkoje we anka fati owo ne credit scoring papa bia keno anse wako wasemena me frame ewra papa fati shaibu ali mama me 25,000 mama me 25,000
na hima no
na sana ka so mo ye no
me fen kodi mi juma
ombe
Ekufuado said the banking sector Professor Buadi enode sa ensem we atudwa only 1.5 million out of 7.9 registered entities pay taxes. Ejo huye papa we the custodian enano.
The Accra Times 2024 media budget review. Government admits hardship but blames the hardship on global challenges. We and someone that the Bokra health democracy thrives on the active engagement of stakeholders. Mr. Animadu, former clerk to Parliament, and this is we add to a jar and Pacho thrives to know a THRIVES and THRIEVES. Mr. Mo, the Accra Times, Diana. Afenyo Markin unveils his vision to transform ECG. Let's develop new maintenance culture. I'm not done praying on this as we are to Honorable Dr. Bashi Opoku Prempe and Professor Jenano Opoku, the Opoku's factor. Who stands tall? The Opoku. People have not realized that. The Opoku. Both of them have served as education ministers before. And as I say, as Ghana's next VP. We the Accra Times the
The new publisher, Emmanuel Ni Okainlaye, is our family head, not a fraudster. Fiti family elders. Mid-year budget review, economy bouncing back fast. Government hands over 320 new housing units for police. The new publisher.
Republic Press, economy shows good signs. Finance Minister states as he assures of steady growth. And so ewaha police get 320 housing unit. Ubehu ewo pay 3 concerned drivers association suspend 15% increase in transport fares. And also ewaha ukopiemu ewo Eastern Regional Police investigate death of a 28-year-old man. And also ewaha road tolls coming back. Minister confirms no apology. Dr. Efriye refuses to back down in Speaker Bruhaha. We Republic Press and now pay. But
ABC the economy rebounding with 4.7% growth. Finance Minister noticed the same way at to a jar. Other stories near or say President Akufo-Addo commissions 320 new police homes. Kratafet Tosumiensa of ABC News, which me on autocratic Emperor Bagben has lost it. That's an editorial. A war ABC News. The Bokratano emu ene anapayafa. Ubetimi hu na wenye bi akenkan obo eremwa. And some who do be any CSOs urged to hold African leaders accountable to remove trade barriers, enhance after implementation. no I'll lead a demonstration against Mahama if he fails to debate Baumia Koku Anyidoho. And this same way to a job.
Sana Joe Biden. Eko challenge Trump for debate. Afede. Osi onko bi mu. Munya botre. Yo.
Me fa nkwesita nto asana.
I'll lead a demonstration against Mahama if he fails to debate Dr. Amamudu Baumia Koku Anyidoho. And what is answering me to offer the ABC the Obokra and Anopea. Some of the stories are which people
not inquisitor and 10 last hour contract of a reactor on OSP radar and also Ewaha we enra Samuel Okujato Ablakwa MP or this science we ekoto Facebook no ena papers no on say papers mienu ena afa informer ena inquisitor enti eho ensem Ewaha nti ubehu picture of Samuel Okujato Ablakwa Ken Ofuriata ena afi kisi ejabe. I am proud of my achievements as energy minister. Nana Poku Napo ena oka sa ensemi. I won't undermine Yagbonwura Abujina Posi me. I am a prince. Enti enya dia me undermine ohimbia. Nungwas 2 lands under siege as military police destroy plush houses and also ensemi waha 1,237 dead, 7,561 injuries recorded in road crashes between January and June 2024. We inquisitor redefining objectivity.
Yanko happyghana.com. You both your aqua fontin tankasi and so some who don't want to go ahead and pay yet be a breath for any for CPP resolves internal feuds set to claim victory in 2024 elections. Where a convention people's party the name almost say
almost presidential
almost baby or mujinano.
How
do I don't know how to. We are exactly where we want to be.
Yes. They are in oblivion.
That's simply what it means. No, they know what they are doing.
They are in oblivion. And that is where they will be. They will be forever.
No, they know what they are doing.
And
it's a positive position. That is how they know, say.
Look.
2024,
you see, they tried. And the likes of Nanaya Jantu Amone, Sakonkuma Kumamo tried to put CPP up there. But what happened? Those elements.
What happened was independence now or independence in the near possible future.
Say, you see, those elements, those comrades, those 55, 60 years are still our youth organizers. Pop it up.
Yeah,
now, almost presidential 300,000 Ghana cedis. Who go and do that?
But who tells you that people do not have money to go and pay for that?
Who would want to?
But
do
who
that?
tells you that there are people within the CPP?
CPP is unattractive. Now, I am sad saying this, but CPP is unattractive.
Happy Ghana. Media budget review. Government to reintroduce road tolls. Government has invested 10 billion in road projects since January 2024. I mean, Adams, reversal of negative economic trends shows promising recovery. Amin Adams, President Akufo-Addo commissioned 320 affordable housing for the Ghana Police Service. I'm not renting. I'm not renting inside your rent 2-bedroom or 1 because you have to pay something for the maintenance. But you still have to pay something for the maintenance. That makes it affordable.
That's what makes it affordable.
If you're comparing to how much you're going to pay when you go and rent a 2-bedroom.
It's who how the sense is here. But it's affordable.
It is very.
It doesn't. The fact that it's cheap. The fact that work atomic away doesn't mean say. Never Google you said to us. Ghana Publishing Company Limited inaugurates Ashanti Regional Office. Crime rate has significantly reduced in Ghana. Dampare, I think I can attest to that. Made in Ghana. Crime rate has significantly reduced in Ghana. Yes. Made in Ghana Expo Canada 2024, Dr. Nana Kweku Indom appeals to marketing agencies. Scottish side Aberdeen tracking Ghanaian youngster Nuruddin Abdullahi So another 3 graces to visit Ghana and West Africa. Your Ghana, my Ghana, truth over speed in digital age. Thank you so much. So Ghana shares carbon market experience with Tanzania. President commissions 320 housing units for the police. Christians must be empowered, equipped for political roles. So police takes delivery of 320 housing units. Wait, sorry, so I'll call Google News and appear Benny Biaka.
Mamika says Safina Doka Sefrina to a high happy 98.9 FM, the happy morning show, and Wasuguswa Utieno, a Chami Miansan and Anno Payatana say a day, the happy morning show, Ebro, wrap up Fatisha Bolin out and say Walkers or Honor what the Google News are brain. Sounds on I would say Prince of Bapaqua and Kawaso on some kind of housing unit, 320 housing units, and a Mampanini Nanado Danquah Kufuado. One Works and Housing Minister, Ora, Kojo Opon and Kroma, and Rat one commission, ya, and Yadima, a post for or my moon. You remember that particular 2 minutes, no, the Akasa and Seminole. Name, my main cow say, and Rat for the Sam for Ora, I mean, Adams, Econ, Rashabi, and some of the Kotuja, and Communion Ebedi, I would you median. So, Ebio, my main cow, we have an exclusive interview with the Member of Parliament for Clote Kole constituency, Dr. Zaneto Ajiman Rawlings, is our special guest on the show this morning. By young Konya Konkofa, Imra, Trent Emra. Is answer, and here in Simpin one, because when I'm saying they are budget genum. Budget genum. Young Kofa Trent Emra.
Yanko trends na enra dear ukopie mu our parliament in fact ensemble bre na and course so minority a omutumi ayire mu kakra ewo honum sa so and finance minister etumi eji ni fugu eji neche etaso na afi ofa na leather bag papa na ekuta no na otwa walkings etwitwa pictures kakra photo shoot kitwe bi ekoso ewe ichire ho ena enu owie ye no ena oje ni space ekopie mu ewo parliament chamber no emu se Mr. Speaker we dey permit me na membobo nsem ne so ema na okodu wa na obie eye ne bag mu eyi ni paper settle ho no se ene mo ntwen yen ensem no ena medi ebegu amamoyin o se ade aban etumi eyi sika 5.4 billion cedis we nye dollars cedis because Ghana has cedis ena yedie na sa sika ya obo so yi ene mo amowo livelihood program no asie na ye friend leap no ai omajibi sa so ena nkwala omuko school edidi free se ne be ya ombetumi okom enne omuyema ye kire omade na eduane ana omodwen ho no da bi wonme sa na ye kire wade ani ejai ekọ fine eno school feeding program no omu ediska ni bi ekọ share ho sa so ena capitation grant omu yi sika ni bi ekọ share ho National Health Insurance Scheme woko ayarsabia untu ya hwe eno nso omuyi sika ni bi ekọ share ho a eno no aboa ama the burden na ewo Ghana for eso no ebi eso ate na osan so eka say 1.5 billion cedis ne de ye de support 1,488,575 students omo free SHS program no ase omuntua fees bia na ewa abra okwa presenting the mid-year budget review no Dr. Amin Adam Ekan say I quote we have disbursed 5.4 billion Ghana cedis to support LEAP school feeding program capitation grants and NHIS since January 2024 to reduce the burden on the vulnerable in our country. We have also spent 1.5 billion Ghana cedis to support free SHS students. The Ghana school feeding program commenced in 2006-2007 with 1,950 beneficiaries. Over the years, there's been considerable growth from 1.6 million beneficiaries in 2016 to to 3.8 million beneficiaries in 2023. That 2024 you do 4 million. Ama just say eduane na man kwala pe school rough. because omo kono omo jollof yi pa na kosua da so a eni eja eye ni je sempa enti no osise si ade in 1 year keke no omo etumi ede nkola 200,000 aka dwumedie no eso na osan so eka ye say 662 million cedis de yetua ma caterers and caterers no mo school feeding na se si ade this week no mo ni abre papa in fact last week see this week caterers na ni abre papa because omo chere say ye ade yetwa nsamato omo so a omo ani nye ho na minister ka say program no ade provide employment emma 34,000 caterers any cooks especially emma omo chere say cooks no ukomu a anase caterers no emma na dɔso ewo mu na eno no aboa ama omo nso no sesi a no omo kofie dia sika kakra ebe hye omo hwen be say 93 pesos so 95 pesos no omo kekebo mu a na eja omo yiyi bi de ahwe omo abusua nso saa so na aboa ama market omo ton nnuane ne ade wo dwam any farmers nso etumi enya kakra hye omo ho because omo nnuane na caterers yi eyusuo de ye nnuane ema esukufo moma yenko parliament na yengotie nsema Dr. Amin Adam Edituja.
Happy FM 98.9.
Billion Ghana cedis to support LEAD school feeding program, capitation grant, and NHIS since January 2024 to reduce the burden on the vulnerable in our society. We've spent about 1.5 billion Ghana cedis to support 1,488,575 students under the free senior high school program between January and June this year. We've paid about 12 billion Ghana cedis to bondholders under our domestic debt exchange program since February to demonstrate our commitment to the program.
Happy FM 98.9.
Entino minister, finance minister, and I'm saying, can you comment about no any? Yeah, I'll say this money is just helping keep people in poverty. Why not create more jobs with this huge sums of money to reduce the unemployment rate? Yeah, there are people who are on government benefits. Even if Obia there will still be some people or more yes, we do need more jobs, but you get some vulnerable obi home to me because be yare and then so still obey didi obesha tare obeko hospital obetia Danquah. Virus, I say, we can only see it in books, but in reality, it's otherwise. Yao Esai said this is one avenue they claim to have spent the money. Edu say which capitation grants? Prince essay, it's unfortunate all these things are happening and nobody knows about it. Where the I see shaking my head. Dr. Amin Adam, SI say, Abai spending a year 1.5 billion cedis. Ed supported 1,488,575 students or more a year free SHS no emu. Way between January and June a year mu and as askano ako share a year free SHS no emu. No and a comment no eba ewo ho. Eric say this is great. The enrollment should be increased to 2 million students. Every Ghanaian child should be able to attend senior high school. Mahmoud say 32 years since we started practicing democracy. If this is what it can offer us, then we don't want it. Wonder why I'm on democracy. Kweku say now no talking because the more you talk, the more they do. December 7, 2024 seems to be very far, but we'll get there and kick them out forever so that we'll have our peace. Ishmael, I say, how about stabilizing the economy so that workers get a better salary to pay for their own children? Ebenezer say he's not sure of the amount spent within 6 months. That's why the word about. Modi mama yenko parliament na yen take a few highlight of budget review no and some bebre and a course so minister so ebubo obi so ne ade into the mama yenko under na yenko twetwe ni nyina emremu.
Happy FM 98.9.
We've reversed the negative trends. All the indicators are looking better. I want to assure you that we will stay on this path and continue to make the right choices. Our economy is recovering, and the recovery is fast and strong. Mr. Speaker, over the last 6 months, we've sought to bring some urgency and speed to the implementation of key government programs, and also swiftly provided the necessary support for growth-enhancing initiatives. I am again happy to inform this August House that with the support of His Excellency the President, Cabinet, and all stakeholders, we have successfully concluded the second review of our extended credit facility with the International Monetary Fund, which led to the disbursement of the third tranche of $360 million, bringing total disbursement to about $1.6 billion. We have completed the debt restructuring program with the Official Creditor Committee of Ghana, covering $5.1 billion, resulting in approximately $2.8 billion of debt service relief. This means that we will not service our debt to our official creditors from 2023 to 2026. We have concluded negotiations with our Eurobond holders, covering $13.1 billion, which will lead to a cancellation of $4.7 billion of our debt and provide debt service relief of another $4.4 billion between 2023 and 2026. We've concluded our negotiations with 5 of the 7 independent power producers, which will lead to a saving of $6.6 billion over the remaining lifetime of the power purchase agreements.
Sa ensem ni nyina ekopie mu ewo parliament ndra ewa bra Minister of Finance Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam ekopie mu na ode media review budget no ekoto eye parliament enimu a samre de nra na eye minority ni de omo se da bi moma yenhye debate na sesesi a ye ready amamu papa ena speaker ekasa ya na eye debate na ansha ase no minority to me pia bonte omo say nsanche for mo break about budget no yes ye wasem ka momra ena Dr. Kesel Atoforsen ejina enimu ena okeka de obeka on say budget we de ma mesi afem hey na nkwan po ansanka ene surodo enam biere nim hey na budget be nie o da bi enkoyi ena na me bisa me ho say da ben pa ena budget akoyi ama opposition party da MPP omu opposition say yala NDC ba ya say yala enti say ade in the course of the week ni de yensaka eye minority na alternatives nko a ena yedi ebebi so omu na omu spell it out and mayen na yen say yes omu endo eye budget anam wom enkwan aye fine e pi kama enti na sa ena ekoya aha ena mede eye trend no ebesi anopay na obiba ese o wasem opese o kache IGP ene the boys and girls
yemfa no nka trends because it's one of the things that is also trending on social media. A lot of people are talking about the fact that it looks as if a buying no airborne home, but when it comes to say boa ama apposit for nya baby etimidio mutrato but unim Collins Janto was here me enkomra ye koba we will start with that conversation. Yes.
Police.
Yes. We'll start with this conversation. If you go on Facebook, it's there. But yes, it's finished, fully finished. Yeah, Comra. Now, Prince will have a bite on this particular development with regards to Mampanini. 320,000 units and a Nokate sword for the Ghana Police Service. When we return, we'll have a conversation on that and on the media budget. And Dr. Amin Adam said to Kokotuja. Yeah, Comra.
Charlie, he hold me down, and I'll forever be grateful. You know, say since you show me to soccer bet, and they see grains, talking of good cash outs, fast payouts, high odds, and total odds accumulation. Bro, if they go on for this side, Charlie, that be high for day. I be you know that. Bro, soccer bet they do the most. Then my interface they catch me. Smooth navigation and easy access to all the sports games through any virtual games you choose. SoccerBet has all you need as a punter. High odds on pre-games, live games, and interesting virtual games to instant virtual games as well. Don't be left out on all of this. It's a good thing you join the fun side. Make the right choice today and enjoy all the goodies that comes with betting with SoccerBet. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet responsibly, not for persons below the age of 18. Gaming can be addictive.
Darling.
Yes.
Ye bedidi na me che angel cola. Me bread do. Obi fa angel cola drink. Na ni yonku eyi angel orange. Ana angel mango. Ose me san pe di obi eyi. Aka me de.
Sese obi ape angel soft drinks ni nyina bi.
Ai daddy, me say me penny ni na bi.
Sister, wo de mama angel peach, angel strawberry, and na angel cocktail. Actually, no ma bade angel apple lime.
What ye? Sani afuma de. Me say angel cola, any angel orange pe na menya. Afei na nka.
It sounds so from wifey. For us chest no ebesi ha. Never angel drinks ni nyina gum. Obi ankata na ni no woni. De won sabe so mo no no anom.
Ani, asamasa. En no ano no.
De bia sani enya no.
Angel cola de asembabo. Angel drinks ya. Amene mabusu anu mu. Danquah Soft Drinks Beverages Limited. And why? Who to do afre one? 0244 83 22 86 and 050 78 78 668.
Angel drinks.
Taste like our day.
FDA, ajeje de nkrato ya tum.
Botiano English amam from Peswaswe. Happy on wheels keteke kesieno. Yadi brewo. Bright. Nene Municipal Chief Executive, Member of Parliament for Botiano English Amanfro, Honorable Sylvester Tete, NDC Parliamentary Candidate Felix Akwete Ni Oakley, any Etitrufo Pia, Wamwa Botiano English Amanfro Peswadaso, Emedin Komo, and Sembia de Wakuma Suono, Way Aya Quenya Kesia, Happy on Wheels, Yadi Ebrewo, Bomodia, Fahombra Jumadim, Isanse, and Young Komochianukwa, I said Yawa, Oba, wants to bet to me and Yabi, Brabeka Yawada. 25th of July 2024, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. at Las Vegas Leisure Center. I want New Botiano. Name for Happy on Wheels. And from Railway. Bra, near Ninkomo, I from Punto, and then Koso. Bra, near Kansamwa, a former main one. Sajumadi, if anyone knew one frame. Kayo, Sajumadi and Bekoso, our forecourt of Las Vegas Leisure Center at New Botiano, our Botiano English Amanfro constituency. Yawada, 25th of July 2024, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Be there, be heard. Happy on Wheels, your voice, your power. Happy FM, Nimdie, Happy FM, and Nijenkwa.
Happy FM 98.9.
So person ten samu bo chiko bremai e wo my kronkron Ghana mu enyompa enim pensem mu eto asumu a ene dabia for kasa fidie ne to Happy 98.9 FM na tie the Happy Morning Show efri anopa no nsia ekopem nonkron efri juada ekopem efiada. The Happy Morning Show, we are your morning companion. Yamamwachio Niamakwaba about Happy Morning Show, so ever Happy 98.9 FM.
For all the news updates, trending topics, good music, and unbiased analysis of various issues, listen to the Happy Morning Show on Happy 98.9 FM. We are your morning companion.
Happy 98.9 FM. Now, good sweat and the Happy Morning Show. Otianka from number 22 at Genulo Street, Asylum down Accra. Nisim 100.1 FM or Tamale Nisim 95.9 FM Bogatanga. Batunim and Sakran San Yetre Hono. Na enkomaho do wa na EPCD. And they enra whilst MC and no crack won't be granting a MC check akran because that event took place in the morning. Yeah. Morning around 10 a.m. And that event took place. Ewo Tessano. And a Jumadi no echo so. Na dan ye kama na na makofa dan gu na yenhwe se de aban yetimi asi adan ahodo de ama opposite man. And you cannot run away from that fact. Yeah. These are fully furnished 2-3 bedroom apartments. Yes. The Ghana Police Service and Saka aban na ya. This is enkwada ba biom be di agro. It's no look go to Facebook. Yes. Go to Facebook and share with me your thought.
We any artistic impressions. These pictures, you free ho enra. These pictures are who are streaming on Facebook no. Pictures are it was taken in fact honorable Kojo Oponkroma.
Nkrumah the page.
Ne photographer in the chat pictures we.
Yes.
Ne photographer in the chat pic. Enti we enti hu grassa omodua hu tiles hu anim ewo ho. Wo hu nkonya in fact there's a dining set, there's a
living area.
There's a living room set, there's a playground for children. Look, Kojo we nya drawings.
David.
We dia yesi a commission. The American nyina ne say Sefah. The American nyina ne say we want to see this building in the next 5 years, 10 years. Said yet ya.
Is that possible?
Yes.
Warren Tebekano.
O say
Warren Tebekano.
Tie me say. Said ye ehu ofei. Said ye baby ayaye nkwala yi eho nyina etie no sa because look. Say me a police officer. Na se me see me dan na me yes anema we wo ho a 5 years, 10 years, you will still be the same. So
I'll maintain it.
Yes. And it is the same thing. And now no pay me catch the Ghana Police Service. Ora IGP Dr. George Ekufu Dampare. Say a den and look a ben ayade pa. A den bia was siamon bia a top notch standard. Sebio nsisi awi den bia we.
Yeah.
Enti yempesi ebehu say the next 2 years. Ukoha na eye bibi foforo. Now we will come back and say so oh yeah the Ghana for you know you don't have the culture of maintenance in us. No. We've gone past that time now. Ye ma dear say we na ya babe pride and who say the Ghana for until we don't have the culture of maintenance in us. No way. No way, Kojo Sefah Danquah. And me, so far as you won't come and I sit here all the time, I will make sure say spotlight.
Edaso. But there is one at Atomic.
One at Atomic. Party. I've been there a couple of times. And anytime be a mekobia, Michelle said the omo yeho. I can report say the usual said the ye niema says niema nyesa na eko. ABI was commissioned sometime October 2023. TBI a fresh 1 year mpumai. Into a fresh.
I can bet some 2 months now 1 year.
2 months now 1 year.
2-3 months.
Months now 1 year.
Yeah.
And said the hot year nana etie. The last time I was there, in fact, our church we've had evangelism because a bank.
Yeah.
Sorry,
yes.
One. We've had a couple of evangelism activities there, so I've been there a couple of times.
But when you went there, you saw say maintenance culture no. It was so.
Oh, say
as compared to you know the other say bungalows. Yes, see Ediama police officers.
Yes. Almost easy, and probably it's because ya catch almost say look, yenti me nye we no more to say the ya. Wahu. Tesano police station.
Yes.
So when we go.
Yes.
Ofa wa so who said this here. Enye papa. We down way. Ye mo bo entabun wanim emfa deep freeze and si ho enye ice blocks enton ewo ho ense ho. That is what we are saying. It's not say bia obi person bo obi echi anaso obi person kan obi ho asem egu obi anim ase but ye can say see down say Edema.
That's beautiful.
Edema and look at the interior.
Look, and those of us who have not had the opportunity of seeing a diner set the from outside to inside. Yanko Facebook, Facebooker, and this but can't get Ghana Police Service TV, Ghana Police TV, and they've given us a bit of a video. Although it's but you can see how beautiful the infrastructure is.
Look at the interior. Look, it's fully furnished. Apartment any Diama Ghana Police Service. And it should not be said ye jai ye be ye ne sana say na ye ne basa. Said ye no ya ye ne free canina no sabrino. Look, one thing police for a done a depa professionalism. And to see a casadia baby omutibia. That is how enuntina aban si dan. Why you up to a certain standard. because they are very essential to our development. And that is how it has to be.
But do you have confidence that I mean, the maintenance culture will be there the next 5 years, the next 10 years? I'm not trying to be pessimistic, but the reality on the ground is that we've seen infrastructure. Yediama, Jumaku ahodoɔ binom ɛwɔ ɔman mu ananka yɛhwɛ anim sɛ abrɛ ne abrɛ nyinaa anaasɛ bra no ne bra no wɔmɛtumi ahwɛ ama ɛyɛ saa bea ahodoɔ no yɛde ama ɔmo no etimi asipia sita obɛhwɛ ɔbɛkɔ no na ɛnneɛma agye nsɛm ɛno tena mebusa wɔ sɛ
it's the reason why we are saying this.
Wɔ awerɛhyɛmu wɔ gyidie bi sɛ despite the fact yɛbɛka aposifo no bɛtumi ade so deɛ
yes sir.
Oh, wait there,
Kojo, yes, sir.
Papa.
Yes, sir. Yes, ya. The next 5 years, okoha say painting na we ya. Ghana Police Service now should be able to paint these buildings. Bibi say, baby and quality agro say Bibi say they should be able to maintain it because they have a unit within the police service. There's a unit in there. So it should not be say there's a maintenance unit within the Ghana Police Service. Na uti baby ne ho say ya ne ho we grass ye dua nyina say ya.
But on this one, I think that it is in the right place ye be bo mampanyin na Danquah Gufado and na ban abaso.
Of course.
Say omatimi ai side we dia ma apposite for man mu. Ebio panyimfo anomu edi omani edi atire nyina omdo ho hye mu nyina ma adwumade ewie peye no so omo so yebo oma baso.
Yes.
Na mejidi se apposite pi no omo so omo wo oman afa na ahodo no ebe pese saa enema ya yehu onkran ene mia ahodo no ebi be koso ewo babia yo mantem ne baako edu ensia yo mantem ne baako edu ensia na abrani nyina no aposifo bi no ho a me wanyonko me aposifo owura kwabnafo me nyonko pa na me ne ko na kra na eto da bia azamba kwan ya no musu ho pa ye de omo ko ba bia bia omo akoda.
Yes.
Izanze bia police division na wo ho no enhyeda enye nhyehyeye bia emfa ma wo mo bia wo mo beda emu nti na ase adwendwen kakra konana kakra de abamu enti I believe say yeinum a yenhunu enkruto ahodo yemfa ne say yemfa onkramantem ha no yebetimi a replicate weinum bisa mia ahodo no a yewo aposi fo ho a wonso betimi anya baabi adan nemum I'm say I'll back Prince on the call say we see etimi hwe na yehwe adan ahodo yehwe ne yie if just to ye papa ye ni we fa we enye tesa no
no tesa no ho na I think o ma ye o hanya de kitu okwadwo maybe we have to visit there na yankohwe
we see eko
we have to 320 units
320 units enya de ketwa
nti hesi ye ka no mo hwesu
enya de ketwa abana ya de nti ye de hwesu ye ene hwe basketball yes the baby ho
yes
enkwada baby ombedi agro mbeku school ni de ka ho nyina
because families
na kwakotena ho nti we dey has a mall and say bibisa
yes
but why can't get the Ghana Police TV and on this akasamfoni atudwa yedi ebi etremo
your mind sick
can ya my main cow 29 minutes to the top of the hour 8 a.m. Exactly at 8 a.m. no at the 7:45 yani the member of parliament honorable Dr. Zaneto Ajman Rawlings, a member of parliament for Clote Kole constituency. Obahima.
Baby, it's on this
one. Baby, it's here. I had nine. Obetimi ayo. But any better chin come. Efa a year and MP. And no Russia with your fee. And Ebra majority leader, sorry, car say minority. And now the Omaya Crado say 1% woman, Bobo, and someone. If to some for Ura. I mean, Adam said, "But I was your David. Majority won't mean Kazaz, majority don't mean Kazaz. Won't mean Kakra. It's answer minority don't come on a day. I bring on my crowd. Say, and send me if you don't move piano or say, and Penny for Timitas, Edun Comono. Minority na a crowd. Nti ebeya majority leader ensem aka wan kan ye kasa wano kokotwe na nka twesan yebedi ensem we koso e wo mrachibje fie enra ho nkomo fotosanfo owura Dr. Muhammad Amin Adams e de oman akomabo ho nsem ekokotu dwa e wo eye mrachibje fie na emu nsem ne bie no ne ye di ho nkomo because owura Dr. Amin Adams e de nsem ahodo bebre no ane tu dwa na mame nkwa ne preamble num na me ne eye miame Dr. Frank Bano or development economics mene ne twetwe nkomo kakra ewo eye saa ensemi hu na ofa eye budget media budget de owura Muhammad Amin Adams e de ba tu dwa no a ensema hodo no a ewo mu ebi enunie mebo de taw e de amount ti ha wo se and dog good morning ansakra ansa na mashase minim se utie yen na dog dear eye owura Amin Adams eka ebi enie or say growth continues to exceed our expectations. The 4% growth rate reported by the Ghana Statistical Service for the first quarter of 2024 exceeds the revised target here. Inflation is declining. End of June inflation at 22.8%. That's a reduction of 31 percentage points since December of 2022. Now it was somewhere around 50%, and that's over 50%. Exchange rate depreciation, above from across 18.6% depreciation rate to the US dollar as of June 2024, representing an improvement of over the year 22% recorded for the same period last year. And gross international reserve, now say, woman mu say, ye bibia sa, na si sika sem nyina che dan 2 years, ka ebetimi anya, amiatimi akra ne ma dia ba woman mu no. Ebetimi cover 2.5 months. Dem say, bosumi baye miensa. Based on this, finance minister said, baby economy ni edro no. Oh, attend curve no baby. E say there, I say, ye draw su koko nsuo no mu no. Ye yi eti kakra. Sa na tie, wada ma.
Because na the share state for happy man you any that we share and for you na finance minister China what the fact that can say there is always a baseline ultimate compare the big saga let us say in a baby and we three side the other we are added to baby the start comparison and an hour now then now get say between 2017 to 2019 now we one of the best in Africa this time it say on the journalist and then
hello doc I am say ahomano na say telecommunications companies are hold more more there to improve on the services that you render to customers. And look, and if nobody's telling you, your data is very expensive. Forget about people saying that Oba Africa, we are the fourth cheapest. Oba forget the service that you're providing for us over a period of time now is below par. It's subpar, and you should up your game. Doc, what's about managing in patch? Obey me at once, Yanko. Me too, Kawadama.
It's an American. The washer finance minister and a small post to now the baseline a year to COVID, especially 2022 the economy could deny, a hot and I'm looking to know by 2023, and now I will set your fund on a IMF, a year over finance minister, a chart, a whooping for you. And it's also the beginning, not a brand on the air. It's a inflation at our kind. Now almost 64%. We actually that has to be united for back. And when you see here, it's a better that Brenna Casino. And yet, dollar to see to get the mark would do would be at 17 cities. So I mean, yes, and also and some people are poor the Prado, and it's to get the mana and it's a yap for the 20 something cities later. And it's a Nagana for the Casa Brenna now in the painful period. Na and then don IMF and who could be here was a friend said debt restructuring and so and also that kind of say Ghana for or see about Ghana for it to me and or mining interest or more interest. So now almost the two say that painful exercise, also tell you or mama pan, also participate in a buying a any idea not to say a gap from Okra. The new that yes, I was here for the first external debt restructuring. And you say, I know the Ediano and I see and so, yes, I know you know that a Yama will look at a foundation that will sit down, who's in Sudan, I was also foundation. The time we United Foundation, you have a dino echo so and see, they are foundation will be dino for a dino, it is done and also. It's all that down for you now. Oh, yeah, cannot use a threat. Parliament also said inflation has been on a downward trend. That and also idea from that. But when it's good to say some way now. So what is inflation a downward trend? It will be so. That's what they call yes, and the Papa Sagi, and I'm between the 20 cities. So the 20 cities now, and I said, yeah, 20 cities. I get a couple of other people here and say that you can't the calculation of inflation and not just on the CPI for consumer price index now. I have a food basket. And everyone will gray and a basket in him. And it does not tell me fair. And you know, you're tall Ghana and I know but it could mean say there are certain and you may be there. No one can go no ever so far. So that the politics of fried talk. So that can say the other not fried talk. A gallon at yellow one. They say a ton. They say 1,200.
Yeah, 1,200, 1,300, 1,400.
So I know you can see me here and I'm here to say $10. So and to say calculating inflation at that here. And no matter what, you want to put the book cost by taking an active from it is a combat and my inflation now that's a what's on but it has not necessarily mean that and you know your tongue will just you know acquire then abacum to really to one second. If you want to say a reserve factory okay. And also look at the time I come to the IMF, let me say a reserve factory the engineer for a 1 month of import cover. And I still kind let me say over 2.5 it's rather 2.5 last year and you are a 3.1 month import cover the equivalent of 6.9 billion American dollars. And only the current gross international reserve the Africa the Bupanaya when the minister answer the account. The ultra in gold reserve and also to African Mupa 8.7 ounces metric tons. About the good 34.7 metric tons and yet the equivalent in dollar terms, 1.73 billion American dollar. The economy is funding in America. Now, you can't say we did not and that kind of Fakuma to finance you will go a minister. What's that? No, you buy your system. Yeah. They said that a year and society. Yeah, a year, yeah, system, a year, you will spend a year welfare. Now, a whole and a Nanka, they share a little say, oh, yeah, minister, I need to say, I buy a year, and that's to a parliament. And now, the measure in Punina of kind, a year health insurance. And then, and your man, especially health insurance, okay, a year, I buy no active members, what me, I increase, from 14.5 million. To 20.8 million. Excess of the whole Ghana population now. Or how entity a year, a year, a triple, and it's 3.5% a year. This year, I buy the extra about health insurance. So, that's number way a year, but we the moon is a population of 44 million there. I was abandoned to me extra there. By the course of the year, I have crown, and there is 25, 27 million there. I buy no over to me about health insurance because of I buy no every year, the ability of person and every health insurance sickle cell treatment. This is a better. And now we are I buy no health insurance. One, the old star, Yarena, the who Yan said, if I ever treat now we are to once our health insurance, over to me equity. When you are going to get spending at the Magana for I want him help. No, I buy the Abano, but I was buying the situation. Ghana for the health insurance card, a new product, free registration scheme and about it to national identification card. Yeah, I was about it. No, that new compulsory. I was health insurance. I said, oh, yeah, answer that and swan. What power card and I offer to everybody. And right now, you're going to social interventions. I buy the best here, I'm not done for any trouble. And the time they were waiting, and I'm going to share with the honorable minister or cut that macroeconomic indicators. I know. And over to make it into more and that whole price of a set. But who million and nine and a year in addition said, yes,
Minister Kase, the government has disbursed so far 5.4 billion Ghana cedis to support a livelihood empowerment against poverty program, school feeding program, capitation grant and NHIS since January 2024 to reduce burden on the vulnerable in the country. But apart from this, did you, per your readings of Enra and Samoa, Dr. Amin Adams, Editu Jano, did you read within, say, indeed, issues having to do with unemployment, issues having to do with livelihoods among for are having issues with, the media budget will seek to address these critical issues, bread and butter issues, Ghana for Dan Dena, Yidi Hunkobono.
Employment system, there be a employment system, or SME growth and opportunity initiatives. Offer a economy now. More than 80% small medium enterprises. I just say a business is getting to Vancouver and expanding the economy. And they say, oh, share and data and what is here. The best will say more than 80% of employment, in the private sector, SME, small medium enterprises, and it's creating that employment. It's a barrier or serious. Now, our dissuading the upper solve unemployment. Yeah, that SMEs, idea also do initial. It's a capital you will listen to say, just simply pay or can't say. In fact, okay, in data for all the two Gary, let's be careful what they are. Also, the SME sector accounts for 92% of existing businesses and 35% of manufacturing. Instead of a time, or I think to move a deal, what instead of a time, that NHS. Now, and on our car, I buy no upper this near BR, a year, IFC, International Finance Corporation, a year $400 million. And African Development Bank, and so a year $45 million. That's the way you know. One other I identify a small medium enterprises, a year solely owned by Ghana. It's a Ghana for Omaria University, almost like a day, Omaria and San Juma, almost like a business. That's the way it's a car. Whatever work one. Now, one two programs to say the Bay to kind of command the panel. They will basically ask them to do. Now, I get the crown after them from the real. One will say to me after Nipa Baku and I'm
But Doc, I know that he did mention that. And last week, that particular project and as a program was launched. But when these programs are launched, I have a bit of concern because Obekaya, during the time of COVID, Ghana Enterprise Agency and also Enya Sika from MasterCard, any other donor agency said, de bois ankrankre nyuma ahodwa wamuwo omaimua. As of that time, they were going through distress. As we speak now, and I don't know, Abia, if you are privy to any report indicating that Kanwa Yademasa ankrankre ejumanono Yatimi enyam fasobi edi frimo. So that makes me a bit skeptical. When we say, look, we've gone in for about 8.5 billion Ghana cedis, small and medium-sized enterprises in this country. Will it really work?
I know you are and you are hot. If you are a cassette, Ghana for the Bitra, I am not young wire. Almost the same example here. 1 million. I said, I buy a couple to say I can one. Now I'm crying Ghana for business. The Yabra was a pastor in business. Now, the canoe and cause and how this to a Jumamu. Now, it's repeated the move. Now, also, to the shop, we are Ghana, Eduma, also unemployment as make it. Because about that, in you know, you can. I'm going to say, I know we know. See, I know we know. Business one, what is the move on of the family? And the time any place in Shimmy and Sunday, you know, let's have more what is here or more family, not about the big businesses. That's the over here and maybe Hana. I buy the Summa and Ghana needs to offer the business man. I get in out of the way and busy. So now, if I acquire here, I will do something about policy document evaluation impact. We are here, many tasks, and we say, one institution, and we get men who or document, I think, NEIP, and okay. When I mean, we have a policy document, and what we can abstract some of the members, some of whom can be send your businesses and Excel, and have chance on the document. But you will be something that they say that anyway. But it's a kind of a very, very important question, sir. And you know, the Ministry of Finance, and the director that I say, thank you, sir. I have a Bama and Crankly. As you back, the look, the answer, and nine, and new. And you are from Senegal. We see an now. In the time of the year, to come and find the automobile, NCD, and not in the paper, what you declare, why I can believe in your ability. And also, we put a long drama, why I can tell you we are the media for. I was there. Most of the from who do a ministry accountable to any piano. I won't find it to Emra. They will meet the press, not the ministry. I was so many in the media. No one travel acquire or when you go acquire ahead. That's the catch. Yapa, Yanama and Ghana business, no. Obaya, we ought to move away. That's why I am here. That's what you want to do. And they are Ghana for now, and they are pocket. Any year, as you say, about the time I remember the autumn to the area. But they are telling them that the man will be for them. More way of what you do. It's who makes it so that ministry of the remember, no more of the command. That's the say the man and crown or the bay in the autumn.
Finally, before we go, the finance minister projected we're looking at you see a bit inflation rate by the end of 2024, somewhere around 15%. Feasible.
Maybe my and fact, this is our personal projections. I'm here before say 18% it's a good record.
Okay.
It's a 54.2%. Now within 1.5 years, it's about 18%. And then I think you. The advanced economy to grow, we say there's a 5% in there, 3% now. You know, I want to be now or more before the pandemic closed. We are still in those numbers, either 2, 3, 4% thereabouts. There's a 2%, 2.5%, at most 3% for the Muslim HRP. And it's a 1 to 54. That's the 18, a very good record. If you want to say it here, and then the minimum band, if you're ready to inflation target, the minimum band or the lower band and the upper band. If you want to say that is the lower band and your target or market.
Okay.
But coming, if they're able to achieve that, the upper band that minimum project is 18%, you know, and very, very likely with the probability of more than 0.5 for now. Every corner there. I think the ministry would have done well with that rate.
Are you happy with where our economy is? That's the final question. Are you happy?
I can't say I am happy, but I can also say we have made progress. But I can't say I am happy. I can only say I am happy. Ghana needs to be able to now when you are that is when I can say I am happy. But for now, the next week of the Meniagi, because the Meniagi, there is a Ghana Libya and more action. There's just kind of picture. If there is more we can do, Ghana for and at home.
Dr. Frank Barnard, development economist, one on that Danquah Institute. Dan Daniel is always interesting and fascinating, insightful to have conversations with you. One artist here, Mame Antoine Diabakum Yunumiansa, a special guest on the show this morning, Honorable Dr. Yes, me for Ohima Enkandino, Ohima Zaneto Ajiman Rawlings, Member of Parliament for Clote Kole constituency, is in the house. ono enene ye ni oye panyine ye ne tenase ye sin konya ne di oye omanga na ho enkomo ye di wonoa ne party mu nkomo ye di the alternative that the National Democratic Congress what the mind the competition the contest Clotte Cole constituency ebe kosen amano is she seeing it like how she envisaged it and as there are new twists to the contest come 2024. The campaign is already ongoing. People are doing house to house. The other time, around by 7 p.m., we saw a group of one political party doing house to house around here, Asylum Down. What are the new tricks? What are the new nuances in the campaign? The National Democratic Congress, Clotte Cole constituency anymore. But Mamin Kyle, Nyanko Bondo China, Thursday, 25th of July 2024. Las Vegas event leisure center, Las Vegas Leisure Center. New Botiano. Botiano English Amanfru constituency. Person so no China near the Happy on Wheels near Brewo between the hours of 1 and 5 p.m. And you better say na ya bobu somewhere do so nsemu na chese de wo bia wo se ye ka edifa Botiano English Amanfru person so bia no na ya ka bra be hia Botiano English Amanfru member of parliament Honorable Sylvester Tete, NDC parliamentary candidate Felix Akwetini Okle, any other key personalities almost omaje penie so baba betena se na ye ne omo edin komo afa Botiano English Amanfru constituency ni mpuntuo ene ne nkoso kayo Jumadi no ekoso Las Vegas Leisure Center, New Botiano, or Botiano English Amanfru person so July 25th, 2024, between the hours of 1 and 5 p.m. Be there, be heard. Happy on Wheels, your voice, your power, Happy FM, nim dear, Happy FM, and Nijen Kwan. I know dear Bako Ada, Metanat Radio, so I make come for Ediama wo, say, Udin Shiamu, did you maybe ano, or say with me, Enya, Ede Ekan Hono, Angel Drinks. Angel Drinks. Angel Drinks produce vitality and maintain fluid in normal balance. Angel Drinks refreshing, invigorating, and exciting. Angel Drinks is produced by Danquah Soft Drinks Beverages Limited. Angel Drinks taste like our days, recommended for all. Penifo betimi anomo enkwada betimi anombi adantemo betimi anomo nkokra betimi anobi betimi anombi. Mesre said eni Angel Drinks atu atese ewo maimu no. Ema amanfo enya ho emfaso boom no se nka utobi kokoton ya na se utubi kokoton ya enka beboa yie pa nti ene bomode ene ni Danquah Soft Drinks Beverages Limited eni enkita ho anase eni omo eni enkomo sisi a na dibi na kokoton 0244832286 and 0507878668 number betimi afre Danquah Soft Drinks Beverages Limited ewo mu was so na only omodin kita ho what me Angel Drinks ni bi ato atu akwakoton Angel Cola ho Angel Orange Angel Mango Angel Peach Angel Apple Lime ese omu ahodo bako enum flavors ahodo enum na Angel Drinks ewo ti bomodian na numbie adwade bia na se dwabo bia wo bo bia no bomodian enya bi ewo ase mamenka o se a free or chinechi Friday 25th of July 2024 to 30th of July 2024 Mamenka na teen ye say 5 p.m. enumere bia no eyade Deeper Life Bible Church Eshiemu Baba Yara Sports Stadium the Global Crusade with Dr. Pastor W.F. Kumuyi ene no wode eyedwumade no apiemu Kumasi kuro tempon Ashanteman kuro tempon Kumasi emu na eho ene yekwa kodi nhyiemu Baba Yara Sports Stadium Baba Yara Sports Stadium eho ne yekwa akohia na ya danyame ase ya bompaye e de asere boni fafiri ya bompaye e de asere nsentreni e de afiri onyankopon ho obi biara how bi ada so bia no we ya kwanya kese so beba na wonso waba benya wayarehwe ewo dwumadi no mamenka say there will be a special ministers and professionals conference Great Hall of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. And this encounter, you cannot miss. Don't miss this encounter. See you there. Mamin Kyle say the Global Crusade with Dr. W.F. Kumuyi. Ono na ye penyini oda Deeper Life Bible Church no ano. Happy 98.9 FM. Na yedi jumedie sronko bi ebrew dwumadie soronko bi bro wonim se ene no yesi dan dan nyina no eniswade hunu da amanfo ani so a womo epese womo etumi ekọ no mkoko duru ho na eto da bia yenuan mo madi dem no aya na ano ya yeden de ama mo tie nei happy 90.9 FM jeni aboafo se yebekọ womo madi dem yenuan mo madi dem enomboa na wonim entremu bia ne ahohia bia pese wo ewo saa dwumadi ayedie ho no number ni ebomode afana frɛ na ne nkita ho sisi a 0302 25 48 58 0302 25 48 58 number betimi afrɛ na woni yen edi eye nkita ho ewo so no mamenkaio se ofra yebeye ehwemu ansakra ansa na mo ewo ho no yatumi edi aboa onye se bia beka yen no ani edi mika gidigidi na yede mo an gidigidi ne yede amaw sa ye nhwemu ansa na yede mo na ebetimi di aboa no yede amaw ewo ho na mamenkaio se ene se dem di kan yen no ayadia there's an exclusive interview with the Honorable Member of Parliament for Klote Kole constituency Dr. Zaneto Adimam Rawlings is our guest in the studio this morning. But amanfo binom ede womo enu disem ede aba o say awula akua harriet say soldiers have high maintenance culture than yanum. Emmanuel Awule o say services are not neat like the military. With this one they will dirty the whole place. Already eba no. Filippo Kwabre Kasamos, good morning. MPP government is far better than the NDC. Greetings to Father One Cantona, my daughter from Pong Manson, Acha Felix, and to Starboy of Hafo Airport. We some of the messages are Modiaba. We enter into another phase of the show this morning, and is the conversation with the Member of Parliament for Klote Kole constituency, Dr. Zaneto Rawlings.
Angel Cola. Me bread do. Obi fa Angel Cola drink. Na ne yonku eyi Angel Orange. Ana Angel Mango. Ose me san pe di obi eyi. Aka me de.
Sese obi ape Angel soft drinks ni nyina bi.
Ai daddy, me say me penny ni na bi.
Sister, wo de mama Angel Peach, Angel Strawberry, and na Angel Cocktail. Actually, no matter Angel Apple Lime.
What ye? Esa ne fun ade. Me say Angel Cola, any Angel Orange pe na menya. Afei na nka it's also from wifey for us chest no ebesi ha. Never Angel drinks ni nyina agum. Obi ankata na ni no woni. De won sabeso mo no no anom.
Ali, asamasa. En no ano no.
De bia sa ne enya no. Angel Cola de asembabo. Angel drinks ya. Danquah Soft Drinks Beverages Limited. And why? Who to do after one? 0244 83 22 86 and 050 78 78 668.
Angel Drinks.
Taste like our day.
FDA
Get ready to soar the skies of Rwanda. Business in Kigali, shopping in Johannesburg, or vacation in Paris. Experience our vast destination network and proud fleet and award-winning service. Whether you are a new traveler or planning your next escape, Rwanda guarantees unmatched comfort and a sky-spanning network. Book your next flight today at rwandair.com or reach us via email at sales.accra@rwandair.com. Call us at +233 0598 760 645 or +233 0598 797 194 or visit your nearest travel agents.
Rwanda, fly the dream of Africa.
Botiano English amam from Peswa Sway. Happy on wheels keteke kesieno. Yadi brewo. Bright. Nene Municipal Chief Executive, Member of Parliament for Botiano English Amanfro, Honorable Sylvester Tete, NDC Parliamentary Candidate Felix Akwete Ni Oakley, any attitude for Pia, one more Botiano English Amanfro Peswaso, Emedin Como, and Sembia de Wakuma Sono, Way Aya Quenya Cassia, Happy on Wheels, Yadi Ebrewo, Bomodian, Fahombra Jumadim, is answer, and young Comotuanunqua, I said Yawa, Oba, wants to bet to me and Yabi, Rabeka Yahua, Yawada. Yawada, 25th of July, 2024, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Ewo Las Vegas Leisure Center. Ewo New Botiano. Nemfa Happy on Wheels. Enfam Rawe. Bra, Nienin Komo, from Punto, and Enkoso, Bra, Nian Kan Samoa, Efo Mai Huo. Sajumadi, Pia anyone new one frame. Kayo, Sajumadi and Bekoso, Ewo forecourt of Las Vegas Leisure Center at New Botiano, Ewo Botiano English Amanfro constituency. Yawada, 25th of July, 2024, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Be there, be heard. Happy on Wheels, your voice, your power. Happy FM, Nimdie, Happy FM, and Nijenkwa.
Happy FM 98.9.
The luckiest, luck is everywhere, for everyone, yeah. The luckiest, luck is everywhere, for everyone, yeah. Doctors, nurses, barbers, drivers, bouncers, friends, teachers, bankers.
You could be the luckiest. You could be the luckiest.
East, west, north, south,
You could be the luckiest. You could be the luckiest.
Accra to Haga.
Let's go.
The luckiest, luck is everywhere, for everyone, yeah. The luckiest, luck is everywhere, for everyone, yeah. Doctors, nurses, barbers, drivers, bouncers, friends, teachers, bankers. The luckiest,
You could be the luckiest.
Get ready to soar the skies of Rwanda. Business in Kigali, shopping in Johannesburg, or vacation in Paris. Experience our vast destination network and parade fleet and award-winning service. Whether you are a new traveler or planning your next escape, Rwanda guarantees unmatched comfort and a sky-spanning network. Book your next flight today at rwandair.com or reach us via email at sales.accra@rwandair.com. Call us at +233 0598 760 645 or +233 0598 797 194 or visit your nearest travel agents.
Rwanda, fly the dream of Africa.
Are you tired of roaming for your medications and can't find them? Do you want to speak to a pharmacist or simply need privacy when buying your medications? Do you want your drugs to be delivered to you at the comfort of your home or office? Then it's time to download the DrugNet app, spelled DRUGNET, from the Play Store or App Store to enjoy total convenience. Use DrugNet, your multiple award-winning online pharmacy, for prompt delivery of all your medications. For further inquiries on DrugNet, call 0593-159-139 or 0501-646-496. And remember, we also accept all private health insurance cards. DrugNet, your #1 online pharmacy.
So pesa otensam ebo chiko bremai ewo my kronkron Ghana mu enyompa enim pensem mu eto asomu a ene dabia for kasa fidie ne to Happy 98.9 FM na tie the Happy Morning Show efri anopa no nsia ekopem nonkron efri juada ekopem efiada. The Happy Morning Show, we are your morning companion.
Mami Enkai was wasugusu out here. The Happy Morning Show live on Happy 98.9 FM. Motienka from number 22 at Genulo Street. Asylum down, Accra and Crancranium when out here. Every name, Moko activity mantemua. A Nisim 100.1 FM or Tamale Nisim 95.9 FM. Ewa Bogatanga. Also, Oko Facebook, a Happy 98.9 FM. Obitimi ehu yen ati yenka edi and community. And as I mentioned earlier, we are privileged to have the Member of Parliament for this very constituency we happen to find ourselves in. Ahaya niyetie but I don't know your call a year tema station. You need to come. And honorable share was so you better come so it was studio. Honorable. What didn't boss so? What bomo dia baby pimu fidiemwa. Na yama honorable Dr. Zaneto Ajiman Rawlings, Member of Parliament for Clote Kole constituency. But I am because Korle Klote is the municipality, Klote Korle is the constituency. Honorable. And I'm watching my cover.
Yeah. What poem?
Nyanko Pardon now, sir. Mjilisa Pomboko, dear, and Parliament, much idea. Nana, a majority leader said, oh, sorry, yeah,
oh, yeah.
Majority leader, person, TT, minority.
Oh, and I'm a memphis. No, now yet to her, say, once I can be video. I was a midge now on a mess can be.
Okay.
If he said, you know, see, can I remember Ghana for Adrian say, yeah, your opposition, we are not ready.
But were you ready for the debate on the floor of Parliament yesterday?
Of course, we're ready. Of course, we're ready. And you don't mean nine so and cancer so if you any man. It's when saying, yeah, ready. Unless we stand up now, can say, debate, no, we want to prepare and come tomorrow. Your leadership will be engineer and nine so and cancer and rather so kind. It's a way of setting the record straight. Parliament, no, you standing orders.
Sure.
And you have different standing orders. So bijna so na bia o ka say some sure we ni ma metimu say bia in round one kofi. Ontimi njina ho kan bisa. Nti o say obijna ho respond, you know, to say said the all can no krenim na. So it's part of the rules of engagement on the floor of Parliament.
Honorable, there were rumors that we heard yesterday, and rumors are now amount for attributed to the delay in the finance minister coming into the chamber and presenting the media budget. It had to do with the rumors that the minority in Parliament were demanding for something. What were you demanding for? You were demanding for a payment to be made to you. Was it the common funds that have not been given to you over a period of time now? Yes, and no would demand it. Was that really the case?
Minority Leader Jana Hono, did he say anything along those lines?
No.
Then I cannot sit here and say that. Means nahan kasa because I'm not part of the leadership.
The leadership.
And sometimes we know Parliament does not start on time. Sometimes you can say you best start at 10, and then there are meetings that they have. There has to be consensus when they have meetings. Inti say leadership issue na bibi I was on far dream na if there's no consensus. For the sake of moving forward in harmony in the House, no. The speaker and the leadership can decide, say there be, or say a train, make sure that they come to an agreement. Into whatever it was that was discussed amongst them would definitely
will have to remain amongst them.
Yeah.
But the minority, just after a year, the finance minister, budget, media budget, in the two job. Minority held a press conference. Yes, you were there. I saw you.
Yes.
And the bottom line was that you felt the media budgeter for the Sanford Betuja was uninspiring. Hope nimu. Just going into year 2024.
Yes.
Is that really the case?
Well, for example, so we share obia koto bibia. So we share the taxes are yetiano. NHIL woho.
Yes.
Get fund woho. And then VAT woho. Now so we share there's another thing, the COVID levy.
Yes.
Do you know what it's for?
From the outset, and I personally have an issue with that.
So do I.
From the outset, they said it was a kaya boy with COVID.
Okay. Now,
meanwhile, we had monies to deal with COVID.
A lot of monies which we're still asking for accountability on are still If you remember as well, $150 million are the House of Parliament. I was one of the very, very vocal people on the floor for the fact flooding I see war a constituency in Inti, something serious must be done. Inti, when that $150 million came before the House, we were all in support of that, myself included, to make sure there was so that you don't have this perennial flooding would be done, which was the re-engineering of the drainage in Accra. Now, during that whole pandemic, at the time, the then minister echo around some of the flood-prone areas, including Odona. What's now the garages for now or press conference because the media for by the hydrological engineers now timelines. And the following week, Oba Parliament, I had a question on the same issue regarding the flooding and the $150 million no. Eho na oye no says asika no womo de p a realign akoye COVID. So in addition to the monies that came specifically for COVID, money that was meant for other things was realigned. So COVID tax now what is the essence of it? Still we're not quite sure what it's being used for. There's a lack of transparency on some of these things. And for some of us, who said in MSC Kono, we would have expected that the number of taxes I want to buy, at least as a show of understanding and empathy to the Ghanaian people, something like that. They should have said, say, okay, we know ye, and now we are realigning it, and now we are reducing it, or something. You're coming before the House of Parliament, and that capacity, we have the mandate to be able to amend, to repeal. Then you are showing that you are not willing to remove some of these taxes, because that's where that should happen. So sure, a lot of things. Look at all the issues going on around the issue of pricing of cement. It's before the House of Parliament, because Parliament was a mandate. Inti Saobana will mention things, and then said Okasa, talking about revenue generation or revenue collection. It did not imply that there was any creative or innovative way. I want to big creative revenue. It just sounded as if it was going further down along the line of taxation again. Now, Sebi, Ghana for air bread. Things are difficult. In fact, in Rwanda, one more can say Ukraine,
Russia and Ukraine war.
Any
COVID-19.
I was just praying. So Obian can say Omutu to Donald Trump has no problems we can blame Ghana's issues for. No, in all seriousness, because sometimes every other country is moving forward.
Yeah.
I don't know which country is charging their citizens for COVID tax. I don't. I'd be happy to know about it. And given the situation we find ourselves, a lot of which was self-inflicted in terms of, the corruption and governance issues now. Why should Ghanaians now be made to pay the price for that? It was not an inspiring speech, actually. But, I think perhaps your new minister, it was a little bit calmer, because it wasn't that previous kind of showcasing, but still, it was not, we expected a lot more. Especially given that we have an election coming up. There should be a show, indication, there is that intention to do something to ease the suffering of Ghanaians.
And that you did not see. We'll come back to the COVID.
Tax waivers, some of these...
the exemptions.
Exemptions. No, you ask
we
yourself,
lost close to about $3 billion to exemptions every year, annually.
It's a wonder.
Some tax practitioners are saying it's too much.
Yes, of course.
We should find a way, because we have about 7.4 million people who tax, but just about 1.9 million
keep
paying the taxes that are being piled up on the same group of individuals.
Which is unfair.
So it's quite clear. The government over a period of time now has not been very innovative with their tax collection and revenue mobilization in this country. But we will do a bit of specifics, because in some Pinuano and Enra for the sum for Dr. Amin Adams Edituja or about the issues having to do with social protection or issues having to do with economic growth that we've witnessed within the first quarter of 2024, 4.7% of GDP growth in 2024. We've had the depreciation of the cedi against the dollar stabilizing, the rate stabilizing somewhere around 18%. And based off these, Honorable, the government is saying that, we've turned the corner. And indeed, we seem to be turning the corner. Still, you do not believe, sir, the budget is something that is inspiring hope. Ending 2024, and the projection of ABI inflation rate somewhere around 15%. You still believe that it's still uninspiring?
Sabi, I'm not making so. Na ebom kese bi wo ho na opia me hyemu na afi me try se me yi me hu afiri sa ho mu a Naibia, I'm like 1/4 of the way out of the hole. You think that's an achievement after you pushed me into the hole and you are saying we are climbing out of the hole that you pushed me into we should sing your praises? That's basically what you are saying.
That's what the government is saying.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Say we PIA akoshe sa tokro we mu. Now we've hit rock bottom. Now we are now climbing out of it. Is that an achievement to be bragging about? Because you are telling me, say, I should clap for you, say you've put me into a hole and now you are helping me to climb out of the hole and we are still at the bottom, but we haven't quite climbed out. And this is an amazing achievement because instead of being at the bottom of the hole, I may be climbing slightly out of the hole. I'm still in the hole. That is the problem. You see, say one for the context of the whole conversation. Now can say, oh, the figures have changed slightly because they've improved. Improved from where? Compared to what? You have to look at the timeline. Say, and I could do we are getting better. No, getting better from which point? In TBB, I was say you're putting it into context. It was quite interesting. Say, Bedru 2024. No, comparison na or day 2016. Sabe, where do 2 terms our government?
Yeah.
Compared with like to start with, then you go before. Now, sir, you are jumping to 2016 without telling us all the other years in between. I think that you're hoping that people have forgotten, said there have been 7.5 years in between that. So, baby, I want to, in good governance, in any form of governance, no, I was saying to me, only responsibility. So, but if you are trying to let people feel, say, but the blame is all elsewhere, that in itself, you should ask yourself, say, as any leader, where you should take responsibility and you don't, where we all know, say, and Ukraine in quarantine, our problems, and COVID, own it, that there have been issues within. Cause problems na but say like the humility to say we could have done better, then you are basically telling us that what we are seeing is not what we are seeing, and I don't think that is fair. This is an election year. Memum dear, and Kameme saying, I was saying, Nukredi, a year campaign. Now say, what fun say, or the campaign, a funny speech no more. Then you should add the truth because, baby, I don't know. A entrono amount for dear politics. No? As specifically, government we were, preaching a lot of things that they could not deliver. No, I feel, say, if we can start using truth as the platform, IADA campaign moving forward, it gives Ghanaians the confidence that politicians are not taking them for a ride. Well, if you look at what's happening in other countries in West Africa, RP loses our confidence in democratic institutions. It's because when there's lack of transparency and accountability and integrity in what we do, it does not give the citizens the confidence, say, you can get justice, you can get fairness, there's inclusivity. We should not make democracy unattractive. Because social also around us now, we are the last man standing, so to speak. Into what we do as leaders, wherever we find ourselves, is so crucial. And Chinameka say, moving forward, we have less than 5 months to this election. Yes. Let's be truthful to the people of Ghana. Whoever should own responsibility should own it. And then tell people, let's see whether we can do better. But all can say you are doing well, we should sing your praises there. I think that one is a little bit...
So to a larger extent...
Because Mamin can be, for example, the issue with leap payments. For a period in the 7th Parliament, they met to Gender Committee.
Okay.
And I remember, say, as part of that, one of the questions Anna Mibisana say, in the Meme constituency, for example, leap, because I am call round now. A lot of the elderly people area complaints say, and so my question was, so who is taking the money? Because if you have a database, say, Wenum Naumedrusa age, almost area, I was leap payments. No, not Sanquafono ne can say they are not getting it. Who is getting the money? Where is it going? Honestly, that was more than 4 years ago. I'm still waiting for a response to that.
Oh, as we speak now, that particular question you asked.
Yes, and that was with a specific, you say, now I'm person me in a general. because na me ama ye me survey e wo me constituency.
Okay.
So I knew some of what was going on in terms of womu enya sa eligibility criteria na womu sa income and womu sikano. And so I was very specific, say your constituency no. Why no now also munya says sikano? And those who are not getting it, why are they not getting it? I'm still waiting to find out. You see, as a member of parliament, no, in addition to Nyema within constituency, the main AE is to represent my people in the chamber, in parliament, at committee level, whether it's asking questions, whether it's making statements. All of these are part of what I'm supposed to do, in addition to what we do in terms of the laws. You understand? So, say, as a representative of politically, when I'm asking a question on behalf of my people, now say I'm not getting that response, you are asking yourself, why am I being frustrated as a member of parliament in terms of getting information that will help to provide a better quality of living for those who have served their time? Because LEAP is for the elderly.
Sure.
They've done what they should do. This is what they should be getting back. Ours is to fight for them to get what is theirs, because we will also get there at some point, and we must make sure say structures now in terms of our legal framework now must be respected.
So there could be a possibility, sir, for the past 4 years. The part of the constituency, call constituency more. Omo amiti the eligibility criteria. I was to me abiding to me this crabby ever more. There's a possibility for the past 4 years they've not received anything.
That is what some of my constituents have told me, because me call around and me bisa. So who be oye penia, you know, say what me usani pakono obre, and you know this person is supposed to be benefiting from that program. And I've had very bitter complaints. Recently, you call in an area in Usumembo baby crop, because I don't think any pakono or mama permissions and there were complaints about exactly that. And so for me, I believe, say, it's not enough to give us figures, because you see, when people reduce human beings to figures, it's easy for you to say point this or round it up or round it down. But every figure represents a human being. Now, say, if you always remember in the back of your mind, or in fact in the forefront of your mind, say, numbers are obi ebowe baby no, represents a human being. It makes you more feeling in terms of dear what's a young crowd. Whether it's because the NHIS people are using their cards now they call various clinics no. In spite of all of that, no, they are still having to pay for certain things which should be covered by the card.
Yeah.
And you know, as I mentioned, Dana your court to my station now, can say will be your cards amount. And my problem is it's an indictment on the government. So what government now you are supposed to be. We are all paying the NHI levy.
Yes.
And if we are all paying this, why is the money not being put where it should? That now facilities are not comfortable using the card because naturally say government edewomka. It shouldn't be so. So sir, I know what the bragging rights are. It backs to the same point, which is the government is not doing what it's meant to do.
We'll come to that as to how things are actually panning out within the constituency, particularly with the campaign towards the 2024 parliamentary elections. You know, we'll come to that. But I've been following you, and some of the conversations that you've had are very interesting. Member of Parliament, you've been talking about the affirmative action bill. You've been talking about issues having to do with employment and unemployment, particularly with the youth. And if you happen to come into your constituency, constituency was as compared to Baby Amtin And one of the accusations that your contender, the NPP's parliamentary candidate, is making, they say, despite the fact that there are a lot of organizations within your constituency, you still seem not to help some of the constituents get jobs. I want to quickly pick your thought on this one before we move to another critical issue happening to do with the development. Waboso, because you mentioned it looks as if we are not having any plan of a sort as a state. Why is that the case? Will NDC change anything? But first, to the allegations are your contender Edema will say you're not helping people get employment in your constituency. Is that the case?
Okay, first of all, you always have to ask yourself, whose role is it to provide employment? If a government is not creating an enabling environment where businesses can thrive, so that businesses can expand and then employ people, me going to speak to a businessman whose business is collapsing because of this government and is letting off workers, what space do they have to employ people, no matter how much they care? No, Craig, I have actually helped people get jobs. I've actually helped people go into training programs to get the skills. Some of these apprenticeship programs, they pay them while they're doing them and so on and so forth. But the bottom line is, I have actually engaged a lot of the businesses in the constituency. And honestly, many of them are lamenting the difficulties that they're going through because of the economic situation. I just say some of them are folding up. Many of them have actually left and have gone to set up elsewhere. And those who are still struggling to remain here, barely afloat, are not able to take on board new employees. And it doesn't matter how qualified you are. Enti, media yame wanwa say, rather than being sensitive to the record and recognizing, say, government I was to IMPP government no have not done what they should do, no, enabling the businesses to thrive. Obi Koran and can say, I'm not giving people jobs. Sebi. If we will be honest, not just an ANC form, you must be able to understand the reality of where we are now. A lot of companies have had to fold up. A lot of companies have left. Why? If you don't have an enabling environment, these businesses cannot thrive. And no government can provide jobs for everybody. That is why the state has a very important role in providing an enabling environment. That includes the economy. That includes fairness. That includes making sure that the kind of systems in place are not biased against one group, making opportunities available only for one. So Bekaya, this week, just a couple of days ago, the minority actually, after 2 press conferences that we did with regards to recruitment and security services, the minister finally stood with us and the deputy majority leader, Ejnaho. And what was the press conference about? Oma Jia Tumuse, it was advertise a recruitment, enlistment in security services. Why? Because we were hearing of people passing out of academies and training. We'd not seen any advertising, and that's not the way it's been. Historically, Yenim say, in order to make sure that there's fairness, no. So what ye advert now, obia or drain so obetimi ayeno na waye, and based on your responses, no, there's a first line of acceptance. You either go through or you don't. Then there's a second line, whether it's the body selection or the medicals or something. But for a long time, no nayente, and there were, a lot of people were having access. Now, better to say, you're partisan. When you're MPP near, you're finding it difficult. And you see. When you create that kind of environment, you are creating a feeling of injustice in society. So this issue of employment, it's exactly the same. If you're not creating an enabling environment as a state, and businesses are collapsing, the taxes are so high that it's becoming a disincentive for businesses to expand or to open. The cost of production is so high because the utility bills that the businesses are supposed to pay are not being... They're not pegging it according to commercial rates as they should in order to boost production. Then you have a situation where even when you have youth who have the skills, who have the background, who have whatever certificates and degrees and diplomas, even when they are willing, business and so ain't me for exactly the same reason. I have met with a lot of business people in the constituency, and the story is the same. The story is the same. And he said, as the representative of Cloticol, I'm sitting here and speaking also on behalf of businesses. They would like to employ, but they cannot because we all know what's going on. I mean, and yet, Professor Bina Bebabetna Hakachi or send a for you to believe. We are all experiencing it. We are all aware of it. We're seeing the hike in fuel prices. We're seeing all sorts of things happening. So it is not, say, that is not it. But the reality is what it is. And you cannot force a business to take people that they can't take when they're struggling because a business is supposed to be profit-making. And if you're running at a loss, you cannot take on board more people.
You can't expand.
That is the reality.
You're not making enough revenue
to actually... Which is where, when NDC is speaking to issues and we're talking about, for example, the 24-hour economy, it's about creating that enabling environment, creating the space so that you have companies who, if they want to stay open and produce for longer, the cost of production is not so high. There should be incentives in place. And so if you look at it, the idea is to provide all of these, and it's the government that provides that. Say, work for policy. Now, can say for the companies that are going to be, let's say, doing 2 shifts, 2 12-hour shifts, the incentive for them to do so is you're going to give them waivers, you're going to give them tax rebates, you're going to make the cost of electricity to them, you're going to reduce it to a certain amount, and you're looking at all of these. Then you're understanding that this is the situation we're in. How do we boost production, industrialization? How we create a favorable business atmosphere? These are some of the things that as NDC we are talking about. And so when we are talking about the things we want to do, you can't keep taxing people. You're taxing people into poverty. Obia onibia wakane no say we ejuma we na meye nasika we na menya wasa ejuma. And you keep going after the same person. We've seen all the projections they made with e-levy, and we saw that it didn't pan out.
I think first quarter 200 and over million Ghana cedis. We were looking at close to about 6 billion annually on an annual basis, but we are not getting what we said. But so
you see, governance is a continuous process. And that is why you have cabinet meetings regularly. That's why you have a mid-year budget review. It's to be able to say, yes, this was what we were hoping for. Over the period, we knew we were not able to do this. It was not possible, for example. So what do you do?
And that's where the honesty and transparency or truthfulness comes in.
But those are the pillars of good governance.
That's what you don't see in our... Is that what you do not see in our politics, in our democracy?
Yes, I'm not saying that, especially under this government. That capacity to say, yes, what we are doing, we haven't done well. Or you hear, say, Nipe, we can all see, say, there was some kind of mismanagement or whatever. Until the person has been asked to resign or the person has been fired. How often do you see that?
Hardly.
And that, you see, these are the things that give the public the confidence, say, your determination to do what you said you will do. No, you're actually doing it. For example, if we take, say, a health provision, for example, a lot of people struggle to actually even go to the health centers, to the hospitals. And so apart from the million on the side, which is, say, supporting people with their hospital bills and all of that, as a medical doctor, since 2015, something I have done religiously and not because of election years, any health screening. Now, health screening, the extent to which we go. Health screening, it's a full complement of medical personnel, from the doctors to the nurses to the physician's assistants to the pharmacists. We have a whole team and the lab techs. Into health screening, we see hundreds of people at a time. In some cases, we've actually seen up to 1,005 at some point.
Wow.
And the whole idea, NSA, we make sure that it's like a mini hospital. We set up camp wherever we do in the various electoral areas, and to allow for inclusivity and equity, in a rotational basis. And we do the different electoral areas. Said the MBA to say only one particular part of the constituency. Exactly. In the you have like the outpatients where, the patients are clocked in or the clients are clocked in. Now, the next thing is, the diagnosis and everything. We check the various vitals and what have you. We do the bloods. We also make sure that they are referred to whichever specialist. And if, for example, Emmanuel, for example, when they are within the criteria, we do smears over there as well, cervical smears, breast checks. We do the children. We have the dental checks. We have the eye tests and everything. We provide them with glasses. We do all of this, and it's all for free. At no cost to them.
All for free?
Yes.
And you've been doing it annually?
Yes.
Afibia,
but several times a year, because once a year is not enough.
Wow.
We have so many sectors, and because if you know what the issues are, you address them in order to catch people. Because Emeka said, I'm waiting for my government to be in power. That's not enough. Granted, there are some frustrations that I face because it's not my government in power. But that does not mean, say, I sit back and do nothing. I do what I must. There have been times when the assembly was supposed to do something where they didn't do it, and I was forced to do so because for example, this is the bridge. Actually, is just round the corner. This is Odona. The previous one was Asylum Down, and a lot of children, a lot of commuters use these facilities. And the fact of the matter is, these were things that needed to be done, not by myself. But when you have a situation where you're realizing that this is, I think, Ring Road, around the Ring Road, near Danquah Circle. So there's Ringway, that's the particular area. These are the assembly members who, every year, I always support the assembly members, not just the NDC inclined ones. Obia, because when you are looking at development, you look at it holistically.
Yeah.
Governance is not just about your party. It's about the community that you serve. In the provision of the dual desk, for example, so around, I know so now this is an urban constituency and whatever, but you go to some of the schools and the children are not even sitting on proper chairs. They don't have proper tables to write on. You see the broken furniture they are sitting on, because if you don't go around, you won't see some of these things. Now, sometimes it's heartbreaking, because what's your Kolanko school? Onko Sunyadie. You must provide a favorable environment
for learning.
For learning.
Yeah.
And the very basic, at least, also onya kunyapa etnaso.
Yes.
Obetimi atroni notes, what tables. And those are some of the things that I've been providing. So, enya dia aya last minute na sa binumene na me ye dede. No. You see, it is something that you do ongoing. I always say that democracy is not about elections. It's about what happens in between elections as well. That is where the governance happens.
But Honorable, are people seeing as such? I mean, this is a unique philosophy. Like, for example, when you mentioned, say, as a member of parliament, you're not just looking at assembly members who are aligned or who may be aligned to your political party, but you ensure say obi biara or what within the assembly biara is actually helped.
The fact is, this constituency is not made up of only NDC members. And once I'm elected not just by NDC members. I'm elected by the constituents, many of whom are NDC, but many of whom are not. Inti samekase as a leader, no, Mabejina has representative of the people. Na me party for nkwana me show. It is wrong. Nowhere in our constitution does it say that when you are elected, you are to serve only your party members, as we are seeing some people doing. That is wrong. And so when I say I'm working with all the assembly members, it's a recognition of the fact that the jurisdiction over which I have been given that position to serve, I must serve everyone. And there must be equity. There must not be an impression that a part of the constituency is benefiting more than the other because I perceive them to be my party members. And in the same way, the assembly members, whatever their political inclination may be, each of them represents an electoral area. There are 11 electoral areas in this constituency. What about the people who live in that electoral area? That means that you are skewing opportunities, you're skewing provision of development and things in a very unfair way, which goes against the very pillars of good governance, which I will not do. Because when I took on this role, my commitment is to do what has to be done and to do it fairly. And that is the way I operate.
See, one thing that I can say for a fact, I mean, I engage a lot of people, and sometimes you gauge their comprehension of what good governance is, what democracy is, what the end product of democracy is, and you happen not to hear a lot of them saying the things that you're saying right now. And for that, I believe, say, members of parliament are mutia anymore kaza na NPP, ni NDC. Listen to Dr. Zanetta Rawlings. Or say it's not just about NPP or NDC. Within the constituency, there are people of different views and different ideas. You should be standing for them. And that's what needs to be done when you can good governance. Doc, I mean, I say no pay. But let's come back to the constituency. Meaning, say campaign koso. And we had the vice chair of Cloticole constituency, Julius Nikwe Logas, who says it is tough this time around. Is that the case?
Well, I mean, personally, for every election, I don't sit down, fold my arms up, and think that it's a done deal. And you cannot think, says, so to baby, now on your share, people should automatically know what you represent, what you stand for. Yes, it's true, I'm working, and I go around the entire constituency. But I don't know who sits anywhere and says that anything is a done deal or anything is cool chop. For me, I wasn't raised that way.
Okay.
I do it with the mindset that there's work to be done, and it's not over until it's over. And when it's over, it's a new beginning. And see, the point of that is, no matter which election you've won, once you've won an election, now the job begins to deliver on whatever you've said you'll do. But let me just add that using this platform, a democracy now, there's something where you should call a decency. Me who say sometimes no ye de me poster etire baby a ye tuatua say woman kote poster no. People
really?
should stop doing that. Yes.
That's within the constituency.
If you cast your eyes around, who say posters belonging to people are almost running for assembly even 8 years ago at the Hotari baby.
Yes.
See how many of my posters you see around. Because we've actually apprehended people who have been tearing down my posters. And that is wrong. If you feel, say, you have a good message, why should you be threatened by other people's posters being put up? Se poster no etire baby na nipa kra nini fie say me pesa poster na ye de atire me wall no so different. But people should have the decency to allow everyone a fair playing ground to actually show who they are. And your posters na winning election.
Sure, it's true.
But I think that if we're going to go down that path, then we're going down a path of unrighteousness, if I may twist it around. No, Crane, because let's be fair to one another. Let's not do to others what we wouldn't want them to do to us.
Yes,
we should
true.
really go down that path. But I think you also mentioned something along the lines of the plan for development.
Yeah, plan for development.
Yes. I think you are asking in terms of what it is that the NDC will do
Would want to do differently.
You know, there is the National Development Planning Commission. We also have the Ghana Statistical Service. These are two of the most important bodies in any country when you are planning for the future. Because you don't sit in a country and start talking about implementing something without understanding the clear picture that you are dealing with. But the clear picture, no, Sabio, and yes, out now when your vision say, oh, say na night, and I may say. The purpose of doing a census on a frequent basis is to make sure that you have a clear understanding of what are the trends, what is the current situation, what is the population of people in Accra who have smartphones, who don't have smartphones. Let me use an example for why that is important. For example, you want to set up an early warning system. Understanding the fact that not everyone has a smartphone, send a message, no, you should make sure that you are factoring in those people whose phones are not smartphones. But if you start off thinking, say, everybody will download a particular app and it is based on that app that only those people can get information that is of an urgent nature now, that means that you are cutting off a whole group of people who don't have those types of technology available to them.
Yes.
For example. So we'll say, ABI, you want to set up a particular hospital in a particular area, for example. What is the basis on which you do that? Is it because Wafana say when you're assassi and you want to provide a specialist hospital, let's say neurology or renal medicine, for example, because there's a lot of kidney failure in Ghana now, and I'm wondering whether we're going to finally do some research to connect the dots between Galamsey and where we're seeing between all sorts of chemicals people are putting on the crops and in our food and where people are ending up, because everything that is happening in our environment has a direct impact on our health.
On us, yeah.
But moving forward, point is, for example, let me give you the most infamous example at the moment. So baby sa cathedral now just look at what happens anytime you're a conference at a work conference center. Traffic at Basa area.
Yeah.
Has the road network been changed?
No.
Has the size of the road been increased?
No.
Has a new system, whether it's a one-way system to cause a better flow, been brought into the whole area?
No.
Saosha Osuari, with the volume of traffic, has a new movement in terms of whether, say, in some countries, for example, let's say between the hours of 9 and 12, this is a one-way street. And it's done with the intention of saying, say, to ease the flow of traffic for the certain hours in a certain day. If we do this, it will change the flow, for example. Osha Cathedral, you ask yourself, so why didn't they take it elsewhere? Because if you add that, Accra Sports Stadium,
is there.
Parliament,
is there.
International Conference Center,
is there.
what the way Black Star Square. If you look at all of this, already there's an issue with how you manage traffic. And you see what people may not, no, I don't think that's fair to say. Look at what's happening with traffic in Ghana, in Accra. How many meetings can you get to in a day? if you have to move from one side of Accra to the other.
One.
That affects productivity. That affects, in the long run, a lot of what you're seeing at the end, which you're going to say are markers of our economic, development and our growth. And some of these things that seem not to matter have an impact. So when we're talking about development, you can't say, this is what I said I'll do and I'm going to do it no matter what. Whatever it is that you're going to do must find expression in the reality that we find ourselves in what is our long-term vision as a country. Okay, for example, recently we were looking at this, the bill on the cultivation of cannabis, for example. Every country has the reason why they are doing that or why they're legalizing it, okay? In some countries, it is because they've decided that this is what will provide them with employment. So that is their objective. And so whatever they're doing is based around how do you maximize employment opportunities when it comes to this particular thing. In some countries, it is because the crime rate was so high because of illegal and illicit production of cannabis. So you're regularizing it, you're legalizing it to be able to police it. So for them, the thing that they mark as the success rate is, has crime gone down. Relating to this? In other countries, they've realized that it is a form of revenue generation that will just completely outstrip other ones that are not as much value and are not as renewable. Which means that in observing the trend, you have to see how much has that contributed. So if we know all of this, that's why you have the NDBC, that's why you have the
Ghana
Statistical Services. Okay, and honestly, the Statistical Services they've really revolutionized everything.
True.
Amazing. They've done so much work.
True.
So for me, if as a political party, for example, that is saying that you're coming to power, you're not making use of these two things. What you're telling us is that it's all talk. If you are in government and you are not making use of these two things, then it means that you are not serious about governance.
True.
Because at this stage, we should not be talking about public toilets when we can't talk about every home with a toilet.
Yeah. True.
If you look at the amount of money and crowd for spending our public toilets, no so. Are you telling me, say, if you are saying, government, because, for example, it may be too expensive for government to provide free toilet facilities in all homes, for example. Okay, so hypothetically, what can say we need to So your calculation based on how much money and for eco public toilets. Can you not come up with some kind of a subsidized or payment system? That money that people are spending on public toilets, you will also be able to use that so that people are spending that towards owning their own toilet facilities
in their homes. Yeah.
Because when you do that, it changes this whole concept of the sanitation as well.
Yes.
Because every time we have flooding, there are areas in this constituency, so raw sewage has been spilled into the waterways from some of the public toilets, which is an issue. It's a public health issue, where if you were to solve the problem by moving a few steps back, because we know how many homes don't have public toilets.
Yeah.
We also know how many people live in those homes.
Yeah.
So in providing for, I was also say, the volume of or the density of people in a particular area, the population, what is the optimum number of toilet facilities that you should have in any compound house, for example? That should factor into your planning. The figures, this is not something you are creating out of thin air. All of this is there.
The data is available for you.
The data is there. The data is there down to how many people have HND, how many people have degrees.
How many people have senior high school certificates.
Wonderful. And when you're doing that, you use that to also plan programs for TVET. You also use that to plan what should be the quota that you take for each course in the university, so that you are planning towards how many graduates are you coming out with in whichever field, so that you are making sure that the produce, and I'm using that term in terms of the people you are bringing out of your training institutions are able to find work in the job market. Because if you have a mismatch between what industry is looking for and what you are churning out, you will provide graduates who cannot find work. So it is also not fair, say, would you say, Nipakron wako investing and also if you own your What guidance did you give them going into university to make sure they were picking courses that would help them find employment at the tail end of that? As a country,
what kind
we
of
know,
employable skills did they get whilst they were still at the university?
That is the other thing. Intina, for example, every year I provide the examination students with math sets.
Yeah.
And previous years, what I've also done was we have these practical science sets. Physics sets. Circuits, capacitors, building of circuits and all of these things, so that they understand how what they are being taught works. Practically. Because we should say, Obi our school no has never thought about the fact that they'd like to be an electrician. And then they suddenly realize, actually, I have a talent for this. Immediately, you've taken somebody who potentially could have gone and done a course in university where they would have ended up with no job directly into an area of interest and skill where they will come out and they will find a job as a certified electrician, as a certified welder, where they can now find work on the rigs, for example. A lot of the people who are doing those jobs in the oil and gas sector are not Ghanaian because we are not making clear that direct link between education and industry.
Yeah.
But the information is there. Do you understand what I'm saying? For me, that is why I love my party. Because I know that the NDC, we came up with a lot of these things. A lot of these agencies and institutions and all that you see that are finding so much expression and a lot of which are being abused under this Fourth Republic were born through the NDC. Because we had a constitution that was created out of a consultative assembly that had people who were not just lawyers, but people from ordinary, lives, different walks of life, to make sure, say, ejumana yefano as ye constitutional should be something that is not so high level that it's alienating a whole section of our population.
Doc, there are a couple of questions. Brother Copper, I wanted your callers to call in. So I think the callers may have some questions for you. Frank Rodriguez, or say, Honorable, when are you starting active campaign? Or say, we can't track your projects for the grassroots. We know they feel your presence. We can't see your presence in the constituency. What is one thing that sets you apart from the opponent, which makes you to continue for a third term? Almost say, we are frank when you're we are frank as some can say on share that in who and person so I say would you be dear would you for money cloture we share that in who be and a then and ma would dance I was say umutimi esamo wa kwenya ema wo tokoso edi ujumedia wudi wadaroma in 1 minute and let's see say bit me at least calls be mienu and name because as the phone lines are buzzing people would want to calling
Inti, can I respond to that?
You can respond to that.
What I would say, and I say, I wish I knew where this person was. Now, who in the area now, all kinds of one because I go around all the electoral areas. Inti, I would really be curious as to where he is, because as for going around here, it's not just about the house-to-house campaign, but it's also about community projects, whether it's in Odona, whether it's in at Bakau Official Town, whether it's in Osudoku North, South, whether it's in Ringway, whether it's in Asylum Down, whether it's in Ehimfa, Adabraka.
The constituency in Baby.
Yes, but of course, as one person, you can't be everywhere at the same time.
Yeah.
Yes. So what we do is we have people who work with us in the various electoral areas. We have I have the coordinators who we have our executives as well from within the party who, yet again, FYI, NDC phone kwana because you might have somebody in the constituency who needs help, but but what we do is we make sure that we are providing for those who are in need. It's educational, it's health, it's DNU. But in terms of tracking my projects, some of the things you'll see on my Facebook page, some of the things you'll physically see because of exactly that. I think maybe one of my problems is I don't brag enough. No, I think in politics you're meant to be very good at bragging, and maybe I need to learn that a little bit more. If you go to the different electoral areas, so Onko Osu maternity. Osu maternity, they didn't have very important medical equipment, including electrophoresis machines and a UV lamp with a cot for babies who have jaundice, the electrophoresis machines for blood tests, and then Doppler machines to actually check the baby's heart and so on. I provided them
also
with...
procured all of that for them?
Yes. If you see the bridge here, this is just near Snaps. Obetimi Akosha Bridge na around the corner, Asylum down. This is Odorna Sahara, which ideally these are things that the assembly should be doing. But thank God, even though they tried to stop my work a few times. And this is the ring road, actually, just coming out of Ringway, crossing into the ring road. He can also go and see that this is not imaginary. And then if you go to Tudu Mosque, for example, the mosque over there, they've really progressed a lot. I made a huge donation to them. I think it was about 500 bags of cement or something, because for 12 years they've been struggling to finish the project. And I just thought, you know what, enough is enough. So went and supported them with that. The desks, if you go to the various schools, around the various schools, the basic schools, you see whether it's laptops that I've provided in some of the schools, the dual desks. So Oko at the Braka cluster of schools, Nukrapoa, they did not have water. I provided a mechanized borehole. Somebody within the assembly, the person knows themselves anyway. They decided that they will go and disrupt the project I was doing there, which is unfortunate because this is something that was to help the children. And if you go to Accra Senior High School, the kitchen, they had some very bad stoves that were creating a lot of pollution and smoke and everything. This is Tema Station. We provided beds. They didn't have any proper examination beds. And then this is a health screening that we do. This is an example. You can see the number of people.
So there are receipts. There are receipts for the things that you do.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I always make sure, there's always paperwork because when I leave, also whoever comes after myself should be able to say, we say, and of course, so we say, now, yeah. And at the end of the day, actually, there are audits of what I do. We a Novotel market, a Odona market, the gravel there, that place, and Kaoko previously now. So to provide a more suitable environment for my trucks, I provided several gravel truckloads of gravel at level. This is the Accra High School. One more stoves. You saw what it was like before and how it is now.
What's the son?
And then also just fixing street lights as well. Another thing
assembly for Nejima.
And a mechano. But you see, if somebody is claiming that I'm not doing anything, then I must prove to you the things that I'm doing. I spend time with the aged every year. I did provisions and just to celebrate them, because sometimes when people retire, people forget about them. And for me, I believe it's a woman lay foundation in my so we must always be there. This is supporting sports in the constituency. That's something I do all the time because I really am big into sports, and I feel young people should always get involved in sports. And see, we have all of that. And these are not pictures from a single location or a single timeline. Inti, I am surprised that Nipa Krono say Onim baby Amekono. So I'm glad that we are seeing all of this. This is a great project that I've been doing over the last 5 years.
Mushrooms,
rabbits, and yogurt. Yes.
Honorable Nanka was here picking calls by them, and I must say, if
I may also add, in terms of my parliamentary duty, currently I'm the deputy ranking member on the new Select Committee on Security and Intelligence.
Okay.
I was the deputy ranking member on the Select Committee on Defense and Interior. Yeah. And I've done a lot of work there, and so if he wants to also go and see my track record, he can actually go onto the parliamentary website and also the library to see what I've done in terms of statements and questions. I've played my role.
Your role,
yes,
indeed.
And I've why should my constituents vote for me?
For you?
I believe that I've been fair. I've been just. Sorry, yeah.
And no small.
Now, also now no make cover of Refi. I'm so sorry. But me pamacho. Inti woman to abama me not simply because my betna ha mekano. Na medjuma dieno. Se woman jin dia baby kra mabo nyina no omon kona omfa omoni nkɔhwɛ. say no crese adena America no esihuana anamayana. But at the end of the day as well no, what obi a say ono na ye leader ogyina ho a onkasa ema ne nkrofo nko a okasa ma obia. For example, Arts Center. I mentioned this at Tema Station. I'll just repeat it again just to emphasize the extent to which I'll go as the representative of Clotical. He said, "Beya say some more dream why you understand. Say when I say I'm here to serve, it is for everybody in the constituency. Arts Center no enye NDC mfonkwa eneye juma wo. Woma ye juma wo. There are over 2,000 people who live and work in Arts Center, from retailers to carvers, BBA, Art Center was to be removed. They were going to remove them completely from there. Some of them were going to be taken to Kaukudi, and the rest, we don't know what was going to happen. And because Art Center is the amount of commerce that it contributes to this particular area. Wo in Nkrumah Mausoleum on the one side, wo the Usu Castle on the other. You have all of these. And after over 6 years of back and forth and not getting any support for the people of Art Center to be kept in that enclave, I did a 2-page petition. Na me medical ma President Akufo-Addo. And I'm catching and say, tourism now, I'll say it should contribute towards GDP. No, one my Art Center no are already doing that. They are not unemployed. They are contributing to that GDP already. Inti sa enclave no almost shusha baby and almost so they don't have to move. And by God's grace, that has happened. Point being, I'm not saying say my government is not in power, so I will not fight for my constituents. What has to be done will be done. Thank you.
Honorable Dr. Zanetta Rawlings, and I can have conversations with you for 4 solid hours, non-stop, because I'm very sorry to interrupt you. One more brand here, original.
I see you enjoy one. Wait, last
no, yes, sorry, Oba Vetinasi. There's a
me pauchawo, mame 1 minute. In fact, 30 seconds. Me da sipi. Oh, 5 minutes. Oh, nyame shao. May you live long.
5 minutes.
5
minutes.
Thank you. Ain't media some of the frustrations are bohon komono. I believe that with NDC in power, a lot of this will be a thing of the past.
Corruption?
Oh, yes. When the people of Ghana are telling you that this election is about who is willing to do what, post-election, not just what you are saying, and we have a track record, then I have to say, Tuaba, Emma John Mahama, oh, yeah, me flag bearer. Now, Tuaba, mame, said your beya, there also may ye no our constituency, no, minya even more of say the mandate. Now mean to me yes I no and to me this is a very well endowed constituency, but without the correct environment created by the government, no. It means that even the businesses that were thriving before are struggling. We need to turn things around for the sake of Mranti and Mama Wana. When we raise school with the hope that something better is ahead. This exodus of our young people, very qualified personnel leaving the shores of this country. You can't build a country without human capacity. Inti Monto Abama NDC. Na yembrana was said there was a itimi Ghana ekonimno. Itimi emayeninra. De yebwa de strenya nkopon say benya asumdwe aye de because election mu. Na yetimi atoaba ema NDC. Na yeba na yensie Ghana ma yemenyinra enya proper future ema won.
Emma proper future. Dr. Zanetta Rawlings, Member of Parliament for Clote constituency in Peswana. So she was a special guest on the show this morning, and it's been a pleasure having a conversation.